S is for the S's that have disappeared. H is for house, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for your memories, hope they last. If it's not a fun day, won't you join me Shifty Sunday? Shifty Sunday for Emmys. Shifty Sunday, if you please.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shifty Sunday. Your host, Hebrew77 here, along with God's Armor, Raven Hawk, and Sagittarically Speaking. What's going on, guys?
Hey, everyone.
Howdy, everybody.
Hello. Glad to be here. Welcome to Shifty Sunday.
Man, I think you're right about that game. I think it's grabbed everyone else's attention away from us.
I mean, we've been on. How long we've been live? A minute? I think. Give it a minute. We'll get some viewers.
We got Fizzy in the house and Purpose and Grace.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, at least all the cool people showed up.
There you go. The cool table.
And Hebrew.
Wait a minute. Is that a trick?
No, what?
Oh, okay. I thought. All right. Well, there it is. And Fizzy Pop's got the good old avocado. She's a 3-star avocado general, looks like. Wow. That's cool. How do you get the 3 stars? Is that a special deal?
I don't know. Probably just because she's Fizzy. If anyone deserves 3 stars, it's definitely the Pop.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. She
just my opinion. I am an opinionated fellow.
We know that. We know that very much, Armor. Yes.
Maybe she's just rating our show so far. We've burned 3 avocados. We're not quite 5 avocados yet.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I never really thought of it that way. Yeah, the 3 avocado rating system. Woo!
All right, yeah. We got an avocado for Saggy and me and Raven. Uh-oh.
I guess I'm done for. Well, where would I exactly fit an avocado on my uniform there? Where would it be?
You probably put it on your hoss.
Oh! There we go. Oh boy. Yikes. So for everybody that doesn't know, I'm sorry, we're about 30, maybe 40 minutes off the mark. That's my fault. I was taking a nap and woken up, and now I'm awake and I'm active. I'm actively awake. So just wanted to throw that out there. We are ready for an awesome show here tonight. We've got a lot of things to go over. And one particular thing that I'm just psyched to death about is Raven Hawk's thing, which we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But let's see here.
Hey, we got CJ Wood in the house. Shout out to Sister CJ.
Oh, thanks for that. Shout out, Armor. That was awesome.
I like to try to catch them as they come in.
There you go. Well, on this show, that's easy to do. You know?
Exactly. That's why I try to do it. We don't go for quantity around here. It's just quality. And look at what we got so far.
Oh, yeah. We got the avocado all-stars. You know what? It needs to be something else. I need to have my own thing. How about He-Man swords? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. I could,
or maybe some plated armor.
Hey, now wait, that would be mine.
They'll be-
How
Could do
about
like-
some? How
I could
about
do
some
like-
ravens or some hawks? Oh wait, no. That.
Ooh, maybe star systems like Sagittarius or something like that.
Oh yeah, that might work.
oh,
But I like the He-Man sword idea, though. I'm kind of partial to that.
well, I'll tell you what. We've had contests in the past. We've had contests to decide our song. We've had contests to decide the name of our T-shirts.
Well, to be fair, the song wasn't really a contest. She just made us a nice theme song, right?
Yeah, I don't know that there was a contest for that. It just kind of happened.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I know. I get what I get what direction you're going
ahead.
here.
I'm following your flow. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is, why don't we have a contest to see what would be this show's icon, what its overall like, icon would be like. Dan's got the avocados. Lone Eagle's got the little small eagles that he passes out. And what would this show be? I'm for swords as well, but maybe our audience could all vote on it, and then in a week, if they win, they become part of the Hebrew fan club. What do you think?
What, you trying to scare them off?
Oh boy, the winner gets an exclusive backstage pass to one of our Shifty Sundays. They get to be on the show. How about that?
Again,
Four
so
souls.
what would the prize be then?
Yeah. Okay, you came up with a great punishment for losing, but what's the winner going to get?
Very funny, Saji. Very funny, guys. You don't think anybody would want to spend some time with us?
All of us at one time?
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy it, but I've always been considered quite strange.
Ain't that the truth? No. I joke with you, but listen, no, I what do you guys think? You think that would be in all seriousness, what do you guys think?
I think it's possible we could do something like that, but I think we need to kind of like
Give it 3
maybe
weeks.
kind of come up with more intimate details on exactly what it would be and how we would do it, but not necessarily right now on our show.
Yeah, we don't. You don't really have the ability to give out anything yet.
Yeah, because you have to have like a member. You have to get YouTube to approve a membership.
Yeah, you have to join their partnership or whatever it is, and they have to send you a letter.
I understand that. No, I'm saying like just they would get to be on the show. All right, that's a give me. And they would get a wrench.
Ah, there you go. Back to the wrenches.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's something we could figure out, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
I'm just throwing ideas in the air, Armor. I'm not saying like, oh yeah.
CJ said, "How about a small cross?" That's a cool one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess we should give them more than a week, though. I mean,
yeah,
let's go for a month or something.
All right, that sounds good to me. So we'll have ourselves another Shifty Sunday contest. That sounds good, man. But we got to gather up the details about it because that just kind of popped in there. It wasn't like we planned all of this.
As usual.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we really plan anything. Things just happen. Speaking of planned things, we did plan some stuff for you guys tonight. So please stay tuned. Do not run off. Anybody that runs off will be automatically electrocuted. So please don't do that. Just saying. It's gonna be like we'll have Fizzy Pop zap you guys. You try to run off. It's the opposite of of getting kicked out. You'll be dragged back in. So, just saying.
Yeah, we can't afford to kick people out. We got to drag them in. Fizzy says she prefers the circus tent. That would definitely fit the show. And Purpose and Grace has the crossed swords, which are awesome.
Yeah, I would say it would be something that reflects all of our personalities. How about that?
They're pretty much circus tent then.
Yeah.
What if you have more than one personality?
Well, you could includes all of them, all five of mine, all three of Heroes. How many do you have, Raven?
Well, I'm glad he
At least 3.
I'm glad he only gave me 3.
We're in trouble. We definitely need a circus tent.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we need a circus wrangler. Someone to like. Oh, that's Armor. He is the wrangler of this 3-ring circus, isn't he? 4-ring circus, I mean.
No way, I know, huh? Nope. Don't put that on me.
Oh, okay.
Uh-uh.
All right. Well, let's go in a circle, and I thought maybe tonight we would start. I would go last since I am the host. I'll give you guys free range to what you do. I figured. Well, Raven, you're next to me in this. Wait, let me do this. I got an idea. I'll do this. Grab a tiger by the toe. Where this thing stops, nobody knows. And if I do it that way, Raven stops right here. Okay, this isn't working. We'll just let you go first, and then Sagittarically speaking, you give off what you need to. And Armor, you don't really have like a Mandela effect or anything, do you? I mean, you do have your good news, but I mean, we already decided.
You know me, I don't do the Mandela effect. I got some good news, though, for the end of the show, or whenever. Usually the end.
We could put that at the end. By the way, our phone lines are down. If anyone's curious, I don't have my Uber conference has only got so many free minutes on it, and it fried yesterday. And then Armor has been having troubles with his internet, so we really don't have any way to do the phone lines tonight, guys. So I'm sorry. I do apologize for that, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be a good show. So just stick around and. Raven, do you want to go first?
Well, my topic is going to be sort of heavy. Do you want to start with heavy?
Well, we get the heavy out of the way, and then the light-hearted stuff won't seem so bad.
Okay. Basically, what I wanted to talk about tonight is that there's 2 very important things that are merging or shifting right now. One is that 2020 is a year where nothing can be hidden from us. It's 2020 perfect vision. We're going to see all the good, all the nasty. And the other thing is that in the United States, as you all know, this coming November is going to be an election for the presidency. So basically what I want to talk about is that since there's so much division and strife in the political world, I want to put out there something for each of us as truthers to think about. And one of those things is, what are your core values? What do you hold most dear? And then I want to encourage you to look for a candidate. If you're a voter, look for a candidate that matches most, if not all, of your own personal core values. And if you can't find one, then don't vote. No more of this, the best of two evils thing, because there is no best of two evils. Evil is just plain evil. And I think if we all started to do this and encourage people around us to do the same, we might just show these elites in our government that we're not going to put up with their BS anymore. They can't divide us. They can't divide us on race and religion and sexes and anything else anymore. We're not going to put up with it. We're all one race. We're the human race. Most people, even if they're not overtly religious, most people are definitely spiritual. And they believe that we have a creator, one creator. Some of us call him Father. Some people call it the Great Spirit. There's different names for what we consider to be the creator. But we all hold that kind of message close to our hearts, I believe. And another thing is that, we need to stop letting people divide males and females, because we are companions to one another. That's what we're supposed to be on this planet for, is to be companions. And, if we continue to let people divide us, then our strengths and our weaknesses won't have any balance. A lot of men look for women who are strong, or if they feel like they're too strong, they might look for someone who's not necessarily weak, but they'll look for someone who can build their strengths up and yet tell them when they're going too far. And it's the same, if a woman feels like she's too weak, she'll look for a strong man. We need to stop letting big businesses, corporations, the government tell us that we should be against one another for whatever reason it is. That is just not how I believe the truth movement needs to go forward. We need to stand for love. We need to stand for truth. We need to stand for compassion and to give all praise to our Father. So anyhow, my core message here is for everyone to sit down and decide, what are your core values? And then ask yourself, who represents that? And if you don't see anyone that represents your core values, step aside. Do not vote, because we don't need to be voting for the better of two evils anymore, because there is no such thing. Evil is evil. And I just wanted to lead off with what some of my core values are, so y'all get an idea of what I mean. So my top 5 is compassion, growth, love, peace, and spirituality. And along with those, there's also balance and community, fairness, respect, self-respect, and wisdom. Those are the things that I hold the most value in my life. So I'm going to open it up to the rest of the guys, and if y'all have anything y'all want to, bring to the discussion, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, I just wanted to say, I'll go first. Then yeah, this isn't going to be very profound sounding or anything like that, but actually when I go to vote, and this is going to sound bad, I know, but this is just the way I've always thought. I just want someone who's going to get the job done and not going to blow us up. And it's sad to say it like that, but anymore, that's all you can really hope for. And an American leader is like, you know, sadly the honest and loyal and respectful and ones with religious beliefs are far too far in between, even though they say, well, yeah, I believe in God and I believe in America, family values and all this and that. You just know that most of those people, the men or women, doesn't matter, are basically full of shit. Sorry for me saying so, cussing, but I think it's gotten to the point where a lot of people don't go and vote because, like you said, you do end up with the lesser of the two evils. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we've had a whole lot of really, really good ones. I'm talking about not the ones that get the job done. Yeah, we've had a few of those. But honestly, in my opinion, there isn't a whole lot of politicians that share those same core values. And that's just my opinion. You could take it as you want. You could say that I've been burned one too many times, and you could say, well, he's what's the word I'm looking for here? Help me out, Saji. Anybody?
Well, I'm listening. I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
Cynical.
Yeah.
Cynical. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's made me it's made me that way, you know? And not that I don't hope that we get someone that's like that. I do. I hope that we do, that we can. And I'm still hopeful, but very, very, very doubtful. And I'm just, I'm just being realistic. Not that we can't have someone in there that doesn't share those same core values, but I believe that we don't, we won't. But that's just my opinion, and I just wanted to pass that along to everybody. Anybody wants to go next? Go ahead. I'll shut up now.
All right. Well, Armor, you want to go next? You want me to?
Oh, it don't matter. Go ahead, brother. I'll round it out, I guess.
All right. All right. Well, I mean, I do agree with you, Raven, that this year 2020, I do believe, is going to be I think it's kind of cliche with it being 2020. Us, talking about the vision, 2020 perfect vision, all that. However, I do see I see potential truth in that as well. Not just in the political realm, but just in the whole people just becoming more aware of how much we have been deceived, just generally speaking. I think it just seems like conscious awareness is growing. It seems like TV in itself, mainstream media, is finding new inventive ways to expose itself. It seems like more and more people are starting to realize that there is some type of deceit. It just seems like more and more people are waking up than ever before, and mainstream media is exposing themselves more than ever before. It seems like it's kind of like going hand in hand. And with this election coming up, I really do think that there's going to be some extreme happenings. I think that it's. I think I honestly don't think that I'm not to get political, but I don't think Donald Trump. I don't think the military establishment, the powers to be, the elites, the whatever you want to call it. There's 1,000 different names for it. I don't think that they 100% knew that. I think Donald Trump winning the election was kind of unexpected in some circles. But then again, I could be totally wrong. He could have been part of the plan from the get-go. So I don't really buy a lot into the politics of things. But I do think that I love the core values aspect that you came up with. I think it is a great time for people to anytime anybody has a chance to reflect on their core values and then apply it into something, that they're into some type of decision they're going to make or major happening that's going to take place, that is a good thing. And as far as like deciding whether you want to buy in or not, as far as voting, yeah, if you can't find somebody that you feel strong enough, confident enough in to cast a vote for, I don't see the reason for casting a vote for anybody just to cast a vote, just because you feel like it's your duty to vote for somebody, even though this person doesn't really fit the bill. Like you said, lesser of two evils is still evil. So, but at the same time, I'm not going to I'm not going to allow myself to get caught up in these debates and what mainstream media tries to tell me about this candidate or that candidate. I might listen to a speech, hear what they have to say, but it's just so hard to even buy into a speech, because that speech is written by a team of people. It's not even necessarily written by the person that's standing there saying these words. So I don't know. It's really a tough call. I guess this is just something that everybody would have to take to the spirit on their own and kind of decide for themselves what's best for them. But as far as applying core values, I think that's a great thing, and I don't necessarily disagree with you. It's just hard for me to buy into the political system, red pill, blue pill. Either way, you're taking a pill. You know what I mean? But I digress, and I'll pass it on to the next guy.
All right. Let's see. I guess, I mean, I know what Raven's saying, and basically, it's something I've already pretty much done. I voted, I know for sure once, and there may have been another one before that. I don't remember for sure. So I can't say I voted once in my life, because I may have voted twice, maybe 3 times, but I can only remember one. And that was quite a while ago. Just because of that, I maybe it's just because I'm older. Maybe I grew cynical a lot longer ago. But I mean, yeah, there's no one that said things that I wanted to hear. I mean, as far as my core values, there's no one that, although Trump did say he was going to go in and fight for unborn babies, I don't see it happening. That's one of my core values, the right to be born. No one cares about that as far as politically. My other core value basically is family. Nobody's standing up for the family. There's no one slowing down CPS from stealing children from loving families so they can make their money. So long ago, I realized there ain't nobody out there I'm going to waste my time voting on, because why would I? If I do that, I'm sort of, well, like you said, you're choosing the lesser of two evils. And I, long ago, even before I was back on the right path, when I was still full-fledged heathen, none of them appealed to me. So, yeah, I myself could not vote, and haven't voted other than once, and maybe a couple other times, although I'm pretty sure it was just once. Purpose and grace brings up a great point, and I believe the point Raven's trying to make with all this is not voting is voting in a way. Exactly. If enough of us stop playing the game, and I know this is high and pie in the sky dreams, we can't even unite to save a child. So how are we going to unite to change a country when we can't even unite to save one baby? So it's high in the sky dreams. But yeah, if people really, really sat down and first of all, even thought about what their core values are, because most of us don't know. We never really think these type of thoughts. Life's too busy to give you time to reflect inwardly, which is exactly what we need to do more than anything. Get with the Father and let him show us what's going on. We never have the time for that. So if nothing else from all of this tonight, at least take a few minutes, take some time, and just Really. Just ask yourself what your core values are. What really matters to you? A better job? Better car? Be honest. It don't matter. Because if you ain't honest with yourself, well, then you're only fooling yourself. I mean, that's pretty much common sense. JM in the house. Welcome, brother. So I think the overall lesson is, yes, if we quit playing the game, they're going to have to come up with a new game or finally admit that they weren't really counting them anyway, which is what I've believed for decades. So, yeah, if nothing else, take some time and figure out what your core values are. Like the ones Raven mentions of hers, the few of mine I mentioned, my main core values are family, children, knowing the Father, that's my core values. Service to others as much as possible. I mean, that don't mean with money or food or just, take some time to figure out what you really care about. That's the main thing. And then, hey, if you can find a candidate to vote for, shoot me an email and let me know, because I gave up looking a long time ago. I don't have time to play their stupid left ring, white ring. Again, I've watched this division, and I'm sure it went on long before I was ever born. But since I've been alive on this planet, or plane, for the flatters out there, as long as I've been alive, I've watched them try to separate female from male with their feminism movement. I've watched them separate blacks from whites with the Black Panther movement. I've watched them try to separate, what else? Let's see, women and men, black and white. I've watched them try to separate, how should I put it? More intelligent people from the less intelligent people. Like you're not, another form of separation. I've watched them separate with all their different religions. That's giant separation. It's all separation. Everything in this world is all about separation.
Yeah, that seems like a really strong one right now is the class. Like if you're upper class or lower class, that seems like to be a really big separator right now too.
Yeah, and that's also been going on forever. It's always been the wealthy and the poor. The middle class died a long time ago. I guess I'm considered middle class, and not back in the day. This would have been considered poor, but whatever. Hey, Euler Greg in the house, welcome. But yeah, basically, take time, look at your core values, really figure out what you stand for, and vote that way. And if you come to realize, like I did a long time ago, that nobody stands for your core values, then why would you support them? It makes no sense to me. And that's why I never have. Because why would I support someone who doesn't believe in what I believe in? Why would I support someone who I know, like you said, the lesser of two evils is still evil? Why would I pick either evil? We got to stop. We got to start standing up for what's real, what's true, what our values really are. And like I said, most of us probably don't even know what they are. They're just what the TV taught us, or grandpa taught us, or the Bible taught us, or the pastor taught us, or our gender taught us, or our school taught us, or our friends taught. Do you really even know what your core values are? But okay, I'm done rambling. Hey, Vitaly in the house. Welcome, brother. Good to see you.
Thanks, everyone. One more thing, I just wanted to mention that, one of the things that I think this whole Mandela effect thing has done for me personally.
Mandela effect.
Mandela
effect.
Mandela effect.
The thing that it's done for me is that it has brought me closer to our Father, because I strayed for a long time. I had some really bad issues with, well, I might as well just say it. I was a Baptist when I was young, and I was a Mormon when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And I got burned pretty bad by both churches. Um, and so I just gave up on religion for a very, very long time. I didn't give up on spirituality. I didn't completely give up on Christ because I've always, liked the Christ consciousness. But, that's kind of new agey. But this has brought me way closer to our Father than anything else out there has ever done for me. And it was because of the lion and the lamb passage in the Bible that changed. So I see, the whole Mandela thing as helping me to strengthen my core values.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to throw that out there.
I will say that I'm right with you on. I'm sorry. Were you done? I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
All right, cool. No, I'll say that I'm right there with you on a lot of those things, especially when it came to religion. For a long time, I mean, let's face it, I was raised Catholic, and that's not exactly the perfect example of, you want to know about religion being twisted and turned upside down and being handled what I would consider to be incorrectly. And there's a lot of false doctrines. Well, I guess that's within a religion, really. But I mean, any parish, I should say. But yeah, I mean, but the point is, I was off in the way for a long time. I was doing drugs. I was lying. I was cheating, stealing. Well, not stealing so much, but those other things were true. And I wasn't honestly into it. And then I still believed in God, and I still worshiped God, and I still said prayers and stuff like that. And I was very much still, I still had that foundation, I guess is what I'm trying to say, that core foundation of faith. But I wasn't doing the right way. I wasn't going about the right way. And I certainly wasn't one of those people that went to church every single week, like, but of course now I know that doesn't really even matter so much as it matters that you follow Jesus. But even that it can be a little sketchy at times if you don't know what it is that you're supposed to do in order to follow Jesus. But and that's the way I was. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. And then when the Mandela effect came along, it sort of started me down that path. I knew that at the time I knew something strange was going on, and I didn't know what exactly it was. And I knew it was all this weird stuff was happening. Everything was changing. Like my reality was changing around me. And it wasn't really until I observed some of the Bible changes that it kind of twisted my reality and went upside down. And then I went on Dan's show not went on his show, but I called in his show a couple times. And then I heard other people talking about, following Christ and this and that. And it wasn't really until I got struck with the Holy Spirit that it pulled me completely out of that stuff. And even now with all of that's happened to me, I'm still not quite right. I'm not saying that, I've quit drinking, I quit doing the drugs, I quit lying, stealing, cheating, and all that stuff. And I'm pretty much trying to stay on the right path, but it's hard to stay on that path and to go down that path if you don't know what that path should be. And if you don't know what it is to follow Christ. You could sit here and say all day long, oh, I love you, or I love this person, I love that person. And then, oh, I'm going to pray for you. Oh, I pray for you. I pray for this person and that person. But if it really doesn't mean anything, it's like those politicians when they make promises. Yeah, they can make all the promises they want and say that they believe in this or believe in that, but by the end of the day, they're really just kind of telling us what we want to hear. And I also feel the same way about religion. It's like people most of the time go around with a sort of neutral zone around their head, and they're saying stuff that we want to hear. You know what I mean? Like it's and then it becomes a matter of using your discernment. Are who do you think's using fake love, fake prayers, fake followers of Christ is what I'd like to call them. I know it's a very controversial subject, and especially when you say those things, but I am right now at this moment, I'm trying to go down the right path. And that was ever since I felt the Holy Spirit within me, and I try not to be one of those fake prayers or those fake followers of Christ. I try to follow Christ. I really do. And I think for a lot of us, we all have different roads and different paths that we're on. And, that's just the way it is. Not all of us are going down the same road. We all want the same thing, but we get there in different ways. And I know I'm rambling right now, but the point is, I'm telling you, once you've changed and you've been hit with the Holy Spirit, it really changes you, and you go through a lot of. Then you start questioning, you start questioning a lot of things, actually, and I know I did, but I'm still on that. Still going down that path. I may take a wrong turn every now and again, but I always go to the Father and I say, please forgive me. I've fallen, I've tripped, I stumbled. Please do forgive me. And then I usually try to steer right back to where I'm going down the right path. But anyway, I said all that to say this, Raven, what you just said, it really hits home with me, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. That's all I wanted to say. I'm going to stop my rant now and let someone else have it. Thank you.
I don't really have a whole lot to add to that. I think the Mandela effect has been a big part of my spiritual journey. I've came leaps and bounds. I would have to contribute part of that to the Bible Mandela effects, but not as much as I would like to, simply because I didn't know the Bible verses from the get-go. I'm kind of just going on everyone's word that it's the case, because I didn't, other than say the Lion and the Lamb and the Lord's Prayer, there's really not a whole lot of Bible verses that I was familiar with before the Mandela effect to have an honest, recollection one way or the other. But the fact that I know, that I trust and believe that, since I know the Mandela effect is real and I hear that this is happening, it's made me now more aware, and it's kind of gotten me more interested in just paying attention to things of that nature. So now I am starting to look at, things a lot differently than the way I used to. I'm actually starting to learn some Bible verses. I'm starting to see. I don't know. It's like I go through different levels of awareness. Like almost like when you think of like a character in a video game. For just trying to think of a way to relate it to reality, is like, in your level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just like you don't really have any strong attributes whatsoever. But as you gradually level up, you slowly build more and more discernment skills, awareness skills, logic skills. I just realize that I'm getting stronger and better, and spiritually stronger and better, physically maybe a little bit stronger and better, and just, I don't know. It's just, I just feel like I'm becoming more of a complete. I'm just becoming more of a complete person in general over time, by the fact that I'm starting to pay more attention. I'm starting to apply more discernment to everything around me, to the people that I allow to be my friend, to the people that I actually choose to interact with and choose to steer away from. I mean, before I felt like I actually used to seek chaos. I would actually go out and try to find some type of chaotic thing to get into, not because I wanted to get into something evil or bad, but just because I was kind of like going for an adrenaline rush, excitement, some type of stimulus. I wanted to create that in my life as much as possible, and over time, it's like I became numb to it, and I needed more and more and more to satisfy that craving. And I eventually came to realize that I was never going to satisfy that craving, that it was never going to be enough, that I would literally it would end up being my demise before it would end up being my fruition. So I have since, basically done a 180, and I'm doing everything I was doing before, but doing the exact opposite thereof. I'm more focused now on finding peace and tranquility and stability and the opposite of chaos and more spirituality. I mean, I just feel like it's kind of strange how when you go through one journey, to take it as far as you possibly can, to realize that you're going the complete opposite direction you need to go, turn around and about face, and now you're so much further away from where you could have been had you started on the right path from the get-go. But either way, getting there, and I guess that's all that matters. And that's the end of my rant.
Well put. Raven, you got anything to add to that? I've got a segue I want to go into, since we've brought up the Mandela effect. I do have a couple of those, but I want to hear your thoughts on this whole. Well, wait a minute. We are talking off of your thoughts. I'm sorry. Duh.
Well, I'm done. I don't want to bring the whole house down with this heavy topic. So I just, I just want people to be aware. We are the truther movement. We are seeing things that a lot of people are not. And I think we need to be guided by our core values and not, be sidestepping those core values for, a lesser evil. So, that's all I wanted to do. So I'm done. Y'all can go on now.
All right. Well,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, to finish it off, I guess, it's a very thin line, and it's basically, well, it's absolutely impossible without the spirit, because their whole point. We lost that, or no, we lost Hebrew. Oh, no biggie. Okay, it's just Hebrew. The whole point.
I was trying to mute up.
That's right. It was just Hebrew. No big deal.
Right.
But basically, their whole point is to separate, divide us, and cause basically a civil type war. The only way they're ever going to overcome Americans is to get us to fight ourselves. That's I'm pretty positive of that. They can't overcome us until we fight ourselves. Then they have a reason to step in to protect us from ourselves. But also we know, and this is where the thin line comes in, their goal is to separate us. But we know that Jesus came with a sharp-edged sword that separates even to the marrow. So there has to be a separation of the wheat and tares, but we can't let that lure us into the separation that they're trying for. It's sort of hard to understand and figure out, but we do have to separate ourselves from whatever we consider evil. We do have to point out, possibly like say there's someone out there leading people astray. I think if that could be proven, beyond the shadow of a doubt, then that should be something that we would have to point out, because if we don't point it out, then we're just letting people be led astray. So we have to be separated from the world, but we don't want to get caught up in the worldly separation, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, that was really cool. I like that. We want to separate from the world, but we don't want to get caught up in the worldly separation. Very well said.
Yeah, because the world's trying to separate, but we need to separate from all of it, basically. I'm done.
All right, Hebrew. What are you still there?
Wake up, Hebrew.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, wake up. Yeah, I do. Listen, here's the thing. I was looking up something Saji had sent me. I think it was a couple days ago. It might have been Saturday. We were talking about this, and I want to talk about this Mandela effect. I know Mandela effects are not all the buzz.
Did you say Mandela effect?
Oh,
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect?
Mandela effect.
You said they're not all the buzz. Are you trying to say that our theme song is inaccurate?
Oh, I don't know. I think our theme song shifted on me. They are all the buzz, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're definitely all the buzz.
Oh, okay. You got to excuse me. I just woke up, so about 51 minutes ago. But I do, we got to throw in a little bit of those in here in the show every now and then, because I know that most of our watchers, I won't say most, but almost all of most, if that makes any sense to you,
a majority. I'll go with majority.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, majority of them are Mandela affected, so we got to throw some out there every once in a while. And I wanted to just kind of slow the show down a little bit. And Saji, I would like to talk about yours, because this Mandela effect is completely nuts,
or lack thereof, one or the other.
pun definitely intended. But no, I don't know if it is a Mandela effect or not, but it definitely hit me as one, and I'll tell you why. Because,
well, before you disclose it or anything, I would like to ask the audience.
Okay.
Do an ask the audience.
Well, we'll do that, but I would like to show the pictures.
Well, yeah, but don't show the picture till we ask the audience.
Oh, okay. Let's play Ask the Audience.
All right. Well, I'm asking the audience. You go ahead and get them set up, get prepared to screen share and all that.
Oh yeah.
And
hey, before I do that, where did you share that with me at? In our private?
I thought I sent it to your phone.
My phone? You're supposed to say your phone. No. Okay.
No, your phone. I'm not 100% sure. Let me look.
All right. Oh yeah. You know what?
But I can send it to. I can send it elsewhere. Can you get it? Can you get it off your phone?
Let me see if I even still have it on my phone. I might have absentmindedly. Right. Well, no. I didn't say I did. Oh crap! I did. Never mind. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna send it to Shifty Sunday here.
Shifty Sunday.
I'm just gonna send it to you.
Oh, okay.
Can I talk about something real quick?
Sure.
No, we prefer you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Open. It's an open show. It's your show too. So yeah.
Well, one of the things that I noticed this week that really, really bothers me all of a sudden is the extra person in the Village People.
Hmm?
Oh, you just recently saw that one, huh? The military guy, huh?
Yeah, where did he come from?
Yeah, I know, right? I remember when I first saw that one.
Okay, now wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Now I'm gonna try to name them all off. Okay, you have the Indian, the electrician, the sailor, the army guy, and what? Okay, who's the other one?
It's the Indian, the cowboy, the police officer,
Oh yeah.
the construction worker, the biker.
Hmm.
Those are all that I remember.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
now all of a sudden there's this army dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
He's only the army dude when they sing in the army. The navy
well,
dude, he's
he plays
usually
all kinds of military people.
okay.
Yeah, he dresses up like all kinds of military people. But
Okay.
when you look at pictures of the Village People, it's almost like he's been photoshopped in there, just
Yeah.
like when I first heard about there was an extra member of the Jackson 5.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
You know, he looked like he was photoshopped in. Well, now
Right.
this guy looks like he's been photoshopped in.
What?
Yeah.
My question is, why would there have been an extra member of the Jackson 5 and then them not change it to the Jackson 6? That's what I always found hard to believe. I'm like, what the heck? I was like you. I was like, this does not compute. This doesn't fit. Not only did he look like he was photoshopped, but he looked like he didn't really fit in the picture. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just all very weird for me. But anyhow, y'all go ahead now. Do what you were going to do. I just had to bring that up because it's been bugging me for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I didn't realize the guy played all kinds of military personnel. I knew he played a Navy dude and an Army dude in some of the videos. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. Hey, we got Preliminal just stopped in. Hey, Prelim, how you doing, brother? I almost sound like I was trying to do an impression of Armor there for a second. But no, you sent me that picture. I've got that picture now. I'm going to pull up this picture and I want you to talk about it because
Well, first of all, I'm going to just ask the audience. Okay.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So it's a Keebler cookie. All right, and it has the name of a nut as the first thing that it's called, and then something else, and it's a shortbread cookie. Can anybody tell me what the name of this shortbread cookie is by Keebler Elves? And I guess we'll have to watch chat.
Okay.
All right. So Raven says pecan sandy, I think is what she was typing.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Wood, pecan. Yeah, pecan. Yeah, pecan. Pecan sandy. Yeah, that's. Lorraine says nutter butter. That wasn't the one I was thinking of, Lorraine, but thank you. Yes, pecan sandies. All right, so you guys are on the right track. So I thought I bought some pecan sandies at the store the other day, and I came home and I was looking at the package, and there's no pecan on my sandies. They're just sandies. So that got me wondering what the heck's going on here.
1 second. I wonder if I can do this in application window. What is my application?
First thing I did was I took a picture of the package. I sent it to Hebrew, and we were talking about it. So then I did a little research, and apparently they now make a sand. They just call them sandies. They don't call them pecan sandies anymore. However, you can still get them with or without pecan, or apparently now you can get them with or without pecans. And if they have pecans down in the bottom where you see it says classic shortbread, it'll say with pecans, but it won't actually say the label pecan sandies. It doesn't say that. And I wasn't able to find anywhere where it actually the Keebler product says pecan sandies anymore. So
See,
I don't know how
that's
far back it goes. I haven't went all the way back. I guess I could have did more thorough research, but I just thought I would throw that out there. I'm not really 100% sure if it's a Mandela effect, but it's definitely a change in our reality. Does anybody remember them just being called Sandies?
Now, let me ask you this real quick. Not that I doubt you or anything. In fact, I was the first one to say, yeah, you're right. But when you took a bite of one of these Sandy's cookies, was there pecans in it?
No, because apparently I got the kind with no pecan. Had it, but there is a kind with pecans, and like I said, down there where it says classic shortbread, it'll say with pecans. If you're getting a pecan version of the sandy, but it won't say pecan sandies on the package.
Now, here's my Mandela effect on this.
Hey, I just sent you one in the chat you can show with the pecans.
I don't ever remember them being without pecans. That was my whole thing. But I'll share that photo. Hold on a second. How do I do that? Let's see here. Oh, this stupid program. Okay, hang on. Let me get.
Oh, we lost Saji again.
Oh no, you're kidding me. Okay, I have to look out for that. And
I
this.
wouldn't kid you. You're my favorite goat.
Oh boy. Technical difficulties, people. Hold on. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this screen up. Let me know if you hear like a knocking sound. That'll be him entering.
I never hear that. You've asked me that before. I never hear a knocking sound.
Well, it's usually just, oh, wait. Well, never mind. There he is. Okay, there he is. All right, let me go ahead and add what you just sent, Armor, to the screen. What? Where'd it go? What the heck? Oh, here we are. Can you guys see that? It's kind of small. Let me know if you can see that. I can't blow it up really. Well, here, let me do this. Let me do this. I can't blow it up where I'm at, but hold on.
Everybody in the chat's leaving to go get coffee and cookies, so good job. Good job.
Oh no. We've got him hungry for Sandy's and coffee, huh? Okay, let's see here. I just saved it in my pictures. So, hey, where'd it go? Oh no, not again. Every time I do this, it loses the oh.
That's right, Vitaly. No one can eat just one cookie. You never mean just one.
What would be the fun in that anyway? I mean, if you're gonna have some cookies or don't have none at all.
Yeah, one cookie's like that's a form of torture in some countries.
I can't believe this thing lost.
It's a joke, people. It was a joke.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Aha. See, they tried to trick me.
Aha.
I bet that was hard. Oh, wait.
Oh, very funny. Yeah. No. How come it won't show up in my application window if I do it like that? Ooh, there it is. Okay, let's just share this application window. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
I see something about midgets and donkeys again. What do you?
Oh no,
Wait a
not
minute.
them.
Wrong
Oh
screen.
man.
Wrong screen.
Yeah.
Red alert. Red alert. Children, cover your eyes. No one should witness this.
Can you guys? Okay, seriously though, are you seeing the this?
I see
Yes.
your screen, but I don't see the image.
We
Really?
see the folder the image is in highlighted. That's it. We don't see the image.
Oh, son of a
It's on the
gun!
wrong screen.
Why they keep doing that to me? Yeah, I better take that down before the donkeys show up.
It's too late. I already copied it. I'm going to check them addresses later.
Oh boy,
We'll talk.
not good.
Some of those looked a little shifty to me, but hey, it is Shifty Sunday.
Right? Okay, there we go.
There you go. It's like
All
a
right.
well-oiled machine at the Hebrew show, people.
Yeah, it is.
Providing the oil is stuck in the Tin Man's chest.
Well, I said it was well-oiled. I didn't say the oil was any good.
Oh, okay. So there it is. Sandy's Cookies Pecan Shortbread. Now that's weird because here's the problem I have with this picture, and you guys can jump in anytime you want. This pecan never had shortbread underneath it to me. And the pecan was up here. It was up here somewhere, and the Sandys were smaller letters, and they were down here. Well, they weren't smaller letters.
Well, the cookie itself was called a pecan sandy.
Right.
It was, yeah, that was the name of the cookie. But no, it's not that anymore. It's just called a sandy, sometimes with pecan shortbread, sometimes without.
Yeah. Does anyone else have that feeling?
It's those shifty elves doing it.
And those elves? Yeah, I always thought, what's
Yeah,
his
I mean,
name?
have you vented it to see if maybe they changed the packaging? Because sometimes that does happen. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
My purpose said, is it a new look? It could be a new look, but I don't know how you do that logo. I mean, Dan can pull up like the logos from the past and see if it's ever changed, but I don't know how you do that stuff. I never cared.
Whoops. Oh, I don't want to share that. There we go. Well, you just saw my
That's a possibility. We don't really know unless someone's checked.
original.
I think there's an actual logo site that he uses that like lists all logo. I ain't sure how he does it.
Let's see. Well, I just typed in logo. Logo maker, create a logo. No, that wouldn't be it.
Go Kurt Bob's here. He said he's been lurking the whole time because he was in the kitchen making cookies.
Oh, okay.
So Bob brought the cookies. Thank you, Bob.
Well,
Fresh baked too.
The name of the site that you're referring to, Armor, is called Logopedia. And I recently just went there while we were doing all this, and I couldn't get it to come up one way or the other.
All right, Logopedia. I'll try to check it out here.
There you go. Oh, I got it right here.
All right, cool.
Let me click on it. So what am I looking up again? Oh yeah, Sandy's.
Pecan Sandies.
Wait, how do you
Well,
do?
you're gonna look up Keebler Pecan Sandy would probably be what you'd want to do.
Oh, okay.
And then it should show you every logo since they started. Purpose and Grace says blank stovetop stuffing anyone. Yeah, that's an old one, and
Oh
yeah, a lot of us. Yeah, we all know that one. That's a big change.
Yeah, that's my number one Mandela effect right there.
This is fandom. This is fandom. Armor, could you do it?
All right, hold on. What am I doing? Logopedia. Is that the name of the site?
Uh-huh.
Logopedia.com. Talk amongst yourselves.
Stovetop, that stove for stovetop stuffing thing, that was one of
Whoa.
Sagittarius. Huh?
This came up in a foreign language.
Oh, that's weird.
Hold on, let me translate.
All right.
Whoa, speech therapy. What the heck did you guys send me to?
What was
What the heck is this? I don't think it's called logopedia.com because I'm not seeing anything. This is some sort of speech therapy.
Mhm.
No, I don't talk well, but come on. I mean, just come out and say it. Don't send me to sites trying to throw hints.
Yeah, just type Logopedia in a Google search and it'll be one of the first ones that pops up.
All right, well, I don't use Google, but let me try.
Yeah, it don't have to be Google. It can be any.
I use Bing. Bing. Who brought? Oh, that's what I was going to say. That was Sagittarically speaking. I know that's one of your big ones, Sagittarically speaking. The stovetop stuffing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big deal because I really like Stouffer stovetop stuffing. I have to admit that the new craft version looks like similar packaging, but not exactly the same, and it tastes almost the same, but not exactly the same. But it's very similar, but it's not the same.
All right, I am not finding this site at all. I don't know what's going on. I have no clue how you find Logopedia. This one sent me to one at Fandom, and it's trying to show me anime. So I don't know what you guys are doing to me.
Sag,
Yeah.
what's your?
Can you send
do
me a
know-
link to whatever site you guys are talking about in the Hangout? 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
not-
when I went to Logopedia, I saw Fandom as well. I don't know what's going on with it, but I know the name of the site is called Logopedia.
Huh.
we're gonna need a crash course from Fizzy or Dan about how you find it, because I ain't finding it.
But here's the thing. We can move on from that if you guys want to, because I have one that's also cookie related. But this is more of a my own kind of personal memory thing. So I don't know that if anybody's going to remember this, but it's one of my personal memory things. And hold on, I think I got it in Hangouts. Can you guys do me a huge favor and talk amongst yourselves, please?
Sure. And Purpose and Grace said, don't worry, it'll change again by the time we find it. At this rate, yeah, it's going to change multiple times by the time we find it, because I don't know what I don't know where the Logopedia thing is. Apple oatmeal raisin is what Bob just brought out the oven. So there you go. They're going to have to cool. It's the worst part about making cookies. Got to wait for them to cool. My wife says I'm very impatient when it comes to that part.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've burnt my tongue quite a few times. The other trick is to take one or two off the pan and shove them in like on a piece of paper or aluminum foil or whatever. Stick them in the freezer. That way those two or three will cool faster than the others.
There you go. Yeah, I agree, Vitaly. I like the soft, chewy cookies better than the hard ones myself.
All right. Can you guys see my screen right now? Yeah, I often burn my tongue off on chocolate chip cookies. And speaking of cookies, there we go. Now, when I was a little kid, I had some Star Wars figures, and any time I would play with my Star Wars figures, I always used the Darth Vader cookie as Darth Vader because I didn't have a Darth Vader. So, but these say Pepperidge Farm, and what I remembered as a little kid is I remember them saying Keebler because all of these are from Return of the Jedi, and here's the thing. Let me blow it up. Whoops. Oh no. It took me to something else. Oh boy. Can you guys see
They're out
that
of stock.
though? But what I remembered was Keebler. They were from Keebler, and up here where the Keebler logo was, I remember it, the Keebler logo was actually the Ewok and tree with Ewoks hanging out the window. You know what I'm talking about? That little window they had there at the top of the Keebler tree.
Oh, yeah. So it was the elf tree, but it had Ewoks in it, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
That would make sense.
And these were skinnier. They were like skinny and tall, almost like what are those fudge things called, Saji?
The fudge grams,
No,
the fudge sticks.
no.
Fudgeums?
Yeah, I think Armor's got it right. Fudgems. They had like they were kind of a sandwich cookie. They had the fudge in the middle. You know,
Okay.
that's what I remember. But I do remember this shape, like they were in the shape of the character. And I remember when I would play Star Wars, I would have Luke slice off Darth Vader's arm, and that would not work with these cookies. And this is the only Star Wars I remember. I remember the cookies, but I remember them being, like I said, a little bit longer, and I can't find those anywhere. This is all I could find when I went. And I mean, I've been over it several times. If you guys can find them, please feel free to do so. Let's ask, before you do though, let's ask the audience how they remember this. And I probably already influenced people's thoughts, but let me know if you guys see anything in chat.
Yeah, just for future reference, it's usually best to ask the audience before you show the evidence. It works better sometimes that way. Lorraine said fudge sticks. That could be it also. That was another one.
Yeah. Oh man, I got my whole keyboard up here. How do I do this without
Yeah,
showing
I've
everything?
never ate the Star Wars cookies, so I can be of absolutely no help on this one.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't. To me, it just seems like it would make more sense for it to be a Keebler thing than a Pepper Ridge Farm, because Pepper Ridge Farm just always seemed kind of more like a hoity-toity company, like like they weren't really into pop culture and stuff like that. So that is kind of strange, seeing them being the sponsor of a Star Wars thing. But I mean, as far as having a clear recollection one way or the other, I can't say that I do.
And I need to get off of this G.I. Joe site, but let's see.
But I actually have another cookie thing that I remember clear as day from my childhood. But all I can find now is something totally different. It's the same name, but it's spelled different, and it's not the same cookie. So I want to ask you guys: do you remember a grandma's cookie, but it's not spelled grandma? It was just spelled GRAMMA''S. Grandma's.
Actually, I do remember this type of cookie. I do remember that one because that's what our first grandchildren called the wife, Grandma, and it reminded me of those cookies. Now I know they're not that. I know where you're going with this, but yes, I do remember Grandma because that's
And they were just a plain little yellow cookie or chocolate, vanilla or chocolate. Like they kind of had like a clover shape. That's the way I remember them. And now you have Grandma's Cookies, obviously by I think it's Keebler. I'm not even sure, but it's not the same cookie. It's just called Grandma's, Grandmas. I'm sure you could probably bring up an example of what they are now.
Okay, let me get over to the old, and I'm probably going to be probably grandma can move faster than what I am right now. So
Right. I understand. But does anybody else remember Grandma's, Gramma?
GRA. Okay, wait a minute. GRA what?
It was the old one that seems to no longer exist is Gramma apostrophe.
Oh, grandma.
Yeah.
Graham, like a graham cracker. Grandma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grandma's Cookies.
Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Cookies.
Purpose and Grace said perhaps it's not Mandela. It could be the drugs.
What the heck? This is from the Frito-Lay company.
Okay, it's Frito Lay. I knew it was. I knew the ones I'm talking about were not Frito Lay. It was just some little mom and pop cookie company and they called the cookies Grandma's Cookies.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, hold on. I'm going to show this, and then you tell me if this is anything close to what you're talking about. No, this is Grandma.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I know. I already looked it up and I found those. And no, those actually look like cookies, and they say it's got the NDM, and that's not the same. These were just little plain cookies that kind of had like a clover-esque type shape to them, kind of square, but like they were like petals on a clover almost,
Let's
or
see.
a flower shape or something. And they came in vanilla and chocolate for sure. Maybe there was a strawberry one. I don't know, but I just know I remember the vanilla and chocolate, and you could buy them in a roll, like they were like stacked like in a package, in a roll. It kind of looked like when you stack cookies up on top of each other, then wrap them in plastic, then tilted it over. You know what I mean?
Okay. I have some. This all says Grandma, but I have some images here, and we'll go over them, and you can tell me if these look anything like what you're talking about. Hold on, let me go to screen share, and then yeah, you can let me know when you guys can see the screen. Whoops, wrong one. Okay, there you go. Let's see what we got here. Maybe I should do it in that little bar off to
Try
the side.
spelling Grandma's and put it in.
Yeah,
what is it? You put it in quotes so that it won't change the spelling.
Yeah, I guess that's what it did.
Okay.
But do you see that's what I put it in as? See? And I guess you're right. How do you do it so it doesn't change the spelling?
Well, take away the word vintage.
Well, wouldn't it be vintage?
No, just put in Grandma's with the quotes. Grammas.
Yeah, that's what I. Okay.
Need the quotes
where'd the quotes go?
before and after it.
Oh, quotes. Okay, hold on, just 1 second. I
had tacos for dinner tonight, by the way. We're talking tacos in the chat. Carry on, pay us no mind.
That's parentheses, not quotes.
Oh, my bad.
Parentheses.
All right. I'm sorry, guys.
Wake up.
Army camp. That's weird.
What?
All right, let me get out of here. Geez. All right, let me stop sharing for a second. Guys, I got something to tell you real quick. I got to go to the bathroom. Why don't we do this? Why don't you guys go ahead and look that up, and then I'll put it up on the screen. If somebody finds something, then we'll share it. But until then, we can go to something else. Saji, I know you got other things we talked about earlier. There was one big, huge thing that I know you wanted to talk about.
Refresh my memory.
Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about what was it? Something about AI and the fact that AI can change our perspective on things as far as Oh wait, no, that's my thing. Oh, I had that commercial. I'll tell you what,
You're cracking me up, man.
I think Saji had the 1984 stuff, perhaps, is what you're thinking.
Yeah, but I'm going to need you to come back before we can do that. So,
all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys talk amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back.
all right. Well, I'm glad to know that you at least remember the grandma's cookies there, Armor.
Yeah. Nowadays, all you can find is the Grand Malls, which everyone's seen. They're in every quick stop, and
Yeah.
you see them everywhere, but they're not at all the same cookies you're talking about.
No. They were in the packaging. They were always stacked like on top of each other, like
Yeah, sort of
And
like Thin Mints, for example.
yeah, exactly. Yep, that's kind of what they were like.
Yep, exactly. Yep, I know what you mean. They seem to be gone. I agree, because I can't find them anywhere, so yes, they never existed.
Yeah, it does seem like they don't have never existed, which is weird. They were a semi-popular cookie back in like the mid '80s.
Oh, yeah, yep. You said I remember it, because that's about when my children were born, around that time, mid to late 80s. And I remember the grandma cookies. And then when my grandchildren were born, they started calling my wife Grandma, not Grandma, Grandma. And it reminded me of those cookies. So that's why I remember it.
Raven, do you have any recollection one way or the other? You haven't chimed in.
No, we didn't eat a lot of packaged cookies. My mom made homemade.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, my grandma actually would buy them. She would bring them home. But where I lived, we had a local grocery store called. It's funny because it was called. It was spelled Marsh, but we all called it Marshes, and I could never figure out why everyone in my family called it Marshes when all it said was Marsh on the store.
Tim Tams. Let me ask you this. Does anyone remember Charlie Chips? They would come in a can, and they would come in like 2 bags, and you get like different flavors, I think, in each bag, but it was the same can. Like it was the same can of chips, but you got like, let's say, for example, you wanted plain and sour cream. They would be divided in that can, but they'd be in the same bag or different bags.
Sour cream cookies?
No, I'm talking chips.
Oh, whew. I was going to say, wait a minute, man. Sour cream cookies, that sounds horrible.
Sour cream and onion chips is what I meant to say. Charlie Chips. Do you guys know of Charlie Chips?
Nah, I never had those.
No, can't say that I do.
Vitality says about Tim Tams. That must be Australian. I've never heard of those either.
Let's see.
So are you back, Hebrew?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm still in the bathroom, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
Way too much information. I've seen the chips. Lorraine's seen Charles Chips. She remembers them.
Why is there a gun in this? Okay, hang on. I would like to share them with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, just be careful there. Don't drop anything in the.
Yeah, and do not turn your camera on. I'm begging you, please. Don't accidentally turn your camera on.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Oh, Vitally says they were chocolate-coated chocolate biscuits with chocolate cream in the middle. Oh, they sound awesome. But no,
See what I mean? Well, why is there a cult 1911 in there? That don't make sense.
That's Charlie's clip, not Chips.
Right. Click image to open expand. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to, but you're not letting me. But anyway, there they are in the nutshell. There's
It looks like regular packaging to me, but
huh?
you said it's in a nutshell.
Oh, well, actually it's in a can. I guess these are still around. I thought these were gone.
I've never seen those.
no, they're not a brand we have around here that I've ever seen.
I keep my Mr. Potato Head collection in this can.
That's good. That's good.
Well, thanks for sharing.
No, I did. I thought it was ironic that I had potato heads and a chip can. I thought that was kind of cool.
Right? Talk
Right.
about giving Mr. Potato Head anxiety.
Yeah. Settle down, or you're going to be a chip.
Wow, I never thought about that. You know what, guys? This could actually be what the potato heads consider hell. Like this would be their hell.
That's what I'm saying. That's sort of, roundabout evil. But hey, you do you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a potato head, I wouldn't want to be stuck in a chip can because that would sort of be, yeah, that's different.
Cannibalistic.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think a horse feels every time you walk it past the glue factory? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Well, it's an empty chip can. I mean, it doesn't have chips in it, but I guess they can.
Oh, I bet it did at one time.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. So now they're stuck with their dead relatives' residue. That's wonderful.
Okay. Moving on, something serious.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we done did it now.
Yeah. Purpose and Grace said that'd be like naming your horse Elmer. That just ain't right.
I think I know some people have done that. Okay.
You can tell we've hit the hour-and-a-half mark.
Oh, what's
Yep.
that? Because
Look how far we've slidden.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
like Lorraine said, that'd be like a mausoleum where those potato heads are. They're living in a mausoleum. That's nice.
Oh,
No. Those poor potatoes.
next time I'll just put them in a brown sack. I get your point. I'll not make them live in a potato head mausoleum. Never mind.
Mausoleum. Just like you can't say Nebuchadnezzar.
Never.
That was good, though. I loved it when he was trying to say I'd never get that. Me and the wife just sat here and chuckled and chuckled. His
I
Bible
was
reading.
laughing so hard.
Oh
Bible
yeah.
readings are hilarious. I love his Bible reading. Hey, that'd be like Purpose and Grace. She says that'd be like naming your cat Walk. Think about it. It's not politically
Oh.
correct. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Or chow mein. Yeah.
Here,
Ooh,
kitty, here, Walk. Here, kitty.
I thought it was the dogs that they use for chow mein. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I think we
I'm
should.
so glad I'm a vegan.
I think we should move on. On that note,
You don't want to know what they put in them vegan patties, dear. Trust me.
I don't eat anything I don't make, darling.
All right, good, because I've researched that fake meat patties, and nah, you don't want none of that.
No, you would actually be better off just to eat some ground beef than to eat
Way
that pig.
better off. Way
Yeah.
better off.
Hey,
I go to
I'll
Burger
just use
King
my
and they cook me.
lentils.
huh?
I'll just use my lentils, thank you.
There you go.
Hey, Eddie Von King just joined us.
Hey, Eddie Von King, the real one, got his lion.
So
So you ready to do this other thing with me, Hero? Can you bring up the first video and the timestamp?
All right. And here's some weird news for you guys. I actually have it ready. Whoops.
No way.
Why did I press invite?
I
Okay.
ain't believing it till I see it, because that's just.
Well, before you actually press play, I want to kind of introduce what I'm trying to present here. I'm sure most people are probably aware of. There's a famous author named George Orwell who wrote a book called 1984 back in, I think it was the 50s that he wrote it. Let's see. Yeah, he wrote it in 1949. That's when it came out. He was actually born back in 1903. And his work is he was an English novelist, essayist, journalist, and a critic. His work is characterized by lucid prose, awareness of social injustice, opposition to totalitarianism. That's easy for me to say, and outspoken support of democratic socialism. But the main thing for this 1984 is it's basically I guess you would say Big Brother, powers that be, the lead or whatever, are basically trying to change history. They're trying to change people's perception of reality and history through literally changing the vocabulary that people speak, eliminating words, shrinking down the vocabulary that people use to say, to describe things, making less and less words available, so that people have less creative thought, less conscious awareness. And he's also famous for coining a few phrases that you might even hear to this day, like Big Brother, Thought Police, Hate Week, Room 101, The Memory Hole, News Speak, Doublethink, and Thought Crimes. Those are some of the terms that he kind of coined in his books. And I went through and I picked out a few little clips here and there to kind of let people see how it seems like the more time that goes by after this book was written, the more and more and more and more it applies to present day. I know there's millions of examples of it. Some people may or may not already be aware of the book or already aware of the Orwellian. The term Orwellian is even based off of his novels as well. But I just thought it'd be interesting to listen to some of these and apply some discernment and see how much it kind of even relates to the Mandela effect and our conscious awareness today, how we might see examples of this actually occurring, not in an exact way, but just listen and decide for yourself.
All right, he has Eisenhower's speech keyed up first. Is that the one you want first?
No, that's definitely not what I want.
Oh,
the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just say while he's getting it together that
that is definitely not the one.
Back when I went to school, we actually read 1984, did reports on it. We read books like Animal Farm, did reports on them. Back when I went to school, these things were taught. So it just goes to show the degradation of education, in my opinion anyway, that most kids would never even read a book like that, or, but back then we were taught it. It was required reading. It was, times have changed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have put it any better. I mean, it's almost like they don't want kids to have to think for themselves, or people to start. It seems like they just want everybody to have a cookie cutter education and as little free thought as possible. It seems like that's the way the curriculum guides students nowadays. That's just my personal opinion, but I strongly feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we read Shakespeare. We read, like I said, 1984, Animal Farm, Fahrenheit. What is it? Fahrenheit 451 or whatever it is, the Fahrenheit
Yep.
one. We read all those books back then.
Huh.
Yeah, go to the opposite end of that spectrum there, Hebrew.
Hold
On those
Lorraine says, what do they have them read now? Well, from the little bit of research I've done, they read stuff like, can Barney and Fred be happy as a couple? And, you know, it's all transgender and it's definitely agendas now, put it that way. What they read now is nothing but agenda. It isn't about education or free thought.
That looks like Michael Myers down there at the bottom, by the way. Is this what you wanted me to?
I'm going now to see which one I wanted you to start with. Just give me a second.
All right. Yeah, definitely.
The first one should be. Hold on. I'm opening the link now.
All right.
It should be the chapter. It should say chapter 3.
Chapter 3. I'm way
Yeah,
off.
that would be the very top link in the list of links that I sent you.
Okay.
If you don't click on the videos, go down and find the links and click on the very top link.
All right. Well, these are. Let's see here. That is the very top link.
All right. And what's the timestamp?
Wait, the link. Okay. I see what you're saying. 1451. Let's see if this is the right one.
Yeah, the first one you want to go to the 12-minute mark and start at and go to 1451.
Okay.
So that basically the way he wrote it, that's what it's saying.
Yeah, 12-minute mark one.
All right. Let me get back to sharing because sharing is caring, as we all know. Unless it's what did you say? Goats and goats and ponies? What was that? Never mind. Anyway, here's.
Yeah, you'll start at the 12-minute mark, and the first one it runs until 14.
Okay, go to the 12-minute mark.
That's where you start.
All right. 12. Oh. All right, you guys ready?
All right, go ahead.
All right, cool.
They had always been at war with Eurasia. The enemy of the moment always represented absolute evil, and it followed that any past or future agreement with him was impossible. The frightening thing, he reflected for the 10,000th time as he forced his shoulder painfully backward. With 2 hands on hips, they were gyrating their bodies from the waist, an exercise that was supposed to be good for the back muscles. The frightening thing was that it might all be true. If the party could thrust its hand into the past and say of this or that event, it never happened, that surely was more terrifying than mere torture or death. The party said that Oceania had never been in alliance with Eurasia. He, Winston Smith, knew that Oceania had been in alliance with Eurasia as short a time as 4 years ago. But where did that knowledge exist? Only in his own consciousness, which, in any case, must soon be annihilated. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became truth. Who controls the past, ran the party slogan, controls the future. Who controls the present, controls the past. And yet, the past, though of its nature alterable, had never been altered. Whatever was true now was true from everlasting to everlasting. It was quite simple. All there was needed was an unending series of victories over your own memory. Reality control, they called it. In newspeak, doublethink.
Stand easy.
Barked the instructors, a little more genially.
All right.
Winston sank his arms to his sides and slowly refilled his lungs with air. His mind slid away into the labyrinthine world of doublethink. To know and not to know. To be conscious of complete truthfulness while telling carefully constructed lies. To hold simultaneously 2 opinions which cancelled out. knowing them to be contradictory and believing in both of them, to use logic against logic, to repudiate morality while laying claim to believe that democracy was impossible and that the party was the guardian of democracy.
Yeah, I think you're past the spot. Yeah, you could have stopped a minute ago, but you get the gist of that. And then can you see how that kind of applies, guys? Any comments on that?
It definitely fits the times we're in. If they can basically erase the past, change the past, which most of us believe they can do, and destroy the memories of the only people that remember. Yeah, I can see how that fits quite well with where we find ourselves today.
All right, the next one, Hebrew, is the one that has the 13:49 minute mark on the link.
Chapter 4.
All right, hang on just 1 second. Okay. We're going.
The link that has the time stamp 13:49 underneath it.
13:49. All right. Almost there. Oh. What? Woo. Okay. All right. Let me get this in the whatchamadoodle here. La-da-dee, la-da-doo. La 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 la.
And you're going to let it run until 16:08, okay?
16:08. Gotcha,
Yep.
sir. Okay, just let me know.
This kind of thing. On occasion, he had even been entrusted with the rectification of the Times' leading articles, which were written entirely in Newspeak. He unrolled the message that he had set aside earlier. It ran, Times 3/12/83, reporting BB day order double plus ungood, refs unpersons, rewrite full ways up sub anti-filing. In old speak, or standard English, this might be rendered, this reporting of Big Brother's order for the day in the Times of December 3rd, 1983 is extremely unsatisfactory and makes references to non-existent persons. Rewrite it in full and submit your draft to higher authority before filing. Winston read through the offending article. Big Brother's orders for the day, it seemed, had been chiefly devoted to praising the work of an organization known as FFCC, which supplied cigarettes and comforts to the sailors in floating fortresses. A certain Comrade Withers, a prominent member of the inner party, had been singled out for special mention and awarded a decoration, the Order of Conspicuous Merit, second class. 3 months later, FFCC had suddenly been dissolved, with no reason given. One could assume that Withers and his associates were now in disgrace, but there had been no report of the matter in the press or on the telescreen. That was to be expected, since it was unusual for political offenders to be put on trial or even publicly denounced. The great purges involving thousands of people, with public trials of traitors and thought criminals who made abject confession of their crimes and were afterwards executed, were special showpieces, not occurring oftener than once in a couple of years. More commonly, people who had incurred the displeasure of the party simply disappeared and were never heard of again. One never had the slightest clue as to what had happened to them. In some cases, they would not even be dead. Perhaps 30 people personally known to Winston, not counting his parents, had disappeared at one time or another. Winston.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it for that one. Do you guys see how that kind of applies as well? I mean, am I going too far out on a limb here?
I definitely see it. I mean, people disappearing and basically written out of history. If it isn't happening now, we definitely ain't far from it.
And then the next one is it's a 6 minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
The next link, there's two more. The next one is the link with, it says 6 minutes mark underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Chapter 5.
All right, let me pause it and get to the 6 minute mark here. 2, 3, 4. Oh, too far. Way too far. Oh, no. Oh, wait. So, right there. Okay. Let me get it on the stream here. Put it in there. There we go. All right.
Before you start that one,
Yeah.
let me just add that the last clip definitely would tie in well with Noble's theory that the world population has drastically decreased unexplainably. Tie that in with that last clip, and that'll really make you think.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had Noble on Taco Tuesday, and I don't think he said it in the show, but we talked about it backstage a lot. What he was talking
Well, he
about.
did pretty sure he did a video about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we were talking about it though, is what I'm saying in detail. But yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. So everybody ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
His thin, dark face had become animated. His eyes had lost their mocking expression and grown almost dreamy. It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words. Of course, the great wastage is in the verbs and adjectives, but there are hundreds of nouns that can be gotten rid of as well. It isn't only the synonyms, there are also the antonyms. After all, what justification is there for a word which is simply the opposite of some other word? A word contains its opposite in itself. Take good, for instance. If you have a word like good, what need is there for a word like bad? Ungood will do just as well, but better, because it's an exact opposite, which the other is not. Or again, if you want a stronger version of good, what sense is there in having a whole string of vague, useless words like excellent, splendid, and all the rest of them? Plus good covers the meaning, or double plus good if you want something stronger still. Of course, we use those forms already, but in the final version of Newspeak, there'll be nothing else. In the end, the whole notion of goodness and badness will be covered by only 6 words. In reality, only 1 word. Don't you see the beauty of that, Winston? It was BB's idea originally, of course, he added as an afterthought. A sort of vapid eagerness flitted across Winston's face at the mention of Big Brother. Nevertheless, Syme immediately detected a certain lack of enthusiasm. You haven't a real appreciation of Newspeak, Winston, he said almost sadly. Even when you write it, you're still thinking in Old Speak. I've read some of the pieces you write in the Times occasionally. They're good enough, but they're translations. In your heart, you prefer to stick to Old Speak with all its vagueness and its useless shades of meaning. You don't grasp the beauty of the destruction of words. Do you know that Newspeak is the only language in the world whose vocabulary gets smaller every year? Winston did know that, of course. He smiled, sympathetically, he hoped, not trusting himself to speak. Syme bit off another fragment of the dark-colored bread, chewed it briefly, and went on. But don't you see that the whole aim of Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible, because there will be no words in which to express it. Every concept that can ever be needed will be expressed by exactly 1 word, with its meaning rigidly defined and all its subsidiary meanings rubbed out and forgotten. Already, in the 11th edition, we're not far from that point, but the process will still be continuing long after you and I are dead. Every year, fewer and fewer words, and the range of consciousness always a little smaller. Even now, of course, there's no reason or excuse for committing thought crime. It's merely a question of self-discipline, reality control. But in the end, there won't be any need even for that. The revolution will be complete when the language is perfect. Newspeak is Ingsoc, and Ingsoc is Newspeak, he added with a sort of mystical satisfaction. Has it ever occurred to you, Winston, that by the year 2050, at the very latest, not a single human being will be alive who could understand such a conversation as we are having now? Except, began Winston doubtfully, and he stopped. It had been on the tip of his tongue to say, except the proles, but he checked himself, not feeling fully certain that this remark was not in some
I think that's it for that one there, Hebrew.
Okay.
had divined what he was about to say.
All right. So
We just got one more of these of the Orwellian. This last one is you just run it. It's near the end of the chapter. You just run it to the end, and
okay.
it is. Let's see. It just says till end. 1314 till end.
All right.
Well, that last one is a perfect. I mean, if we can't see that one in action, I don't know, because basically we've already eliminated words like honor, dedication. People don't think or talk that way anymore. Those words are basically gone. People talk, now they type. I've seen people typing God bless you to people, GBY.
Right.
People talk to you later, TTYL. I mean, if we can't see the
Yeah.
word,
Or better yet, they just text in emojis. They don't even use words.
yeah, now they just use pictures. Words. Yeah, the words being eliminated. Yeah, that's plain as day. Pretty soon people won't understand the conversation like we're having right now, and that's a fact.
1311. What is it?
I think it was third. I have to go back and look. Hold on. Yeah, 1314.
1314. All right. Here we go. I gotta get the thing up. Hold on, guys. Just bear with me. All right, there we go. And now, let me know if this is the right one or not.
I'm not sure. It don't look like it is because it's a lot longer time left than what I thought there should be. If you're at the right spot.
Okay. Well, the one I clicked on, it said 1314 till end.
All right. Well, maybe this is it. Let's find out. I won't know until I hear it.
Okay.
To mention the war against Eurasia, she startled him by saying casually that in her opinion the war was not happening. The rocket bombs which fell daily on London were probably fired by the government of Oceania itself just to keep people frightened. This was an idea that had literally never occurred to him. She also stirred a sort of envy in him by telling him that during the 2 minutes hate, her great difficulty was to avoid bursting out laughing. But she only questioned the teachings of the party when they in some way touched upon her own life. Often she was ready to accept the official mythology, simply because the difference between truth and falsehood did not seem important to her. She believed, for instance, having learned it at school, that the party had invented aeroplanes. In his own school days, Winston remembered, in the late 50s, it was only the helicopter that the party claimed to have invented. A dozen years later, when Julia was at school, it was already claiming the aeroplane. One generation more, and it would be claiming the steam engine. And when he told her that aeroplanes had been in existence before he was born and long before the revolution, the fact struck her as totally uninteresting. After all, what did it matter who had invented aeroplanes? It was rather more of a shock to him when he discovered from some chance remark that she did not remember that Oceania, 4 years ago, had been at war with East Asia and at peace with Eurasia. It was true that she regarded the whole war as a sham, but apparently she had not even noticed that the name of the enemy had changed. "I thought we'd always been at war with Eurasia," she said vaguely. It frightened him a little. The invention of aeroplanes dated from long before her birth, but the switchover in the war had happened only 4 years ago, well after she was grown up. He argued with her about it for perhaps a quarter of an hour. In the end, he succeeded in forcing her memory back until she did dimly recall that at one time East Asia, and not Eurasia, had been the enemy. But the issue still struck her as unimportant. "Who cares?" she said impatiently. "It's always one bloody war after another, and one knows the news is all lies anyway." Sometimes he talked to her of the records department and the impudent forgeries that he committed there. Such things did not appear to horrify her. She did not feel the abyss opening beneath her feet at the thought of lies becoming truths. He told her the story of Jones, Aronson, and Rutherford, and the momentous slip of paper which he had once held between his fingers. It did not make much impression on her. At first, indeed, she failed to grasp the point of the story. "Were they friends of yours?" she said. "No, I never knew them. They were inner party members. Some of them far older men than I was. They belonged to the old days, before the revolution. I barely knew them by sight." "Then what was there to worry about? People are being killed off all the time, aren't they?" He tried to make her understand. This was an exceptional case. It wasn't just a question of somebody being killed. Do you realize that the past, starting from yesterday, has been actually abolished? If it survives anywhere, it's in a few solid objects with no words attached to them, like that lump of glass there. Already we know almost literally nothing about the revolution and the years before the revolution. Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street and building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. I know, of course, that the past is falsified, but it would never be possible for me to prove it, even when I did the falsification myself. After everything is done, no evidence ever remains. The only evidence is inside my own mind, and I don't know with any certainty that any other human being shares my memories. Just in that one instance in my whole life, I did possess actual concrete evidence after the event, years after it. And what good was that? It was no good, because I threw it away a few minutes later. But if the same thing happened today, I should keep it. "Well, I wouldn't," said Julia. "I'm quite ready to take risks, but only for something worthwhile, not for bits of old newspaper. What could you have done with it, even if you had kept it? Not much, perhaps, but it was evidence. I'd have planted a few doubts here and there, supposing that I dared to show it to anybody. I don't imagine that we can alter anything in our own lifetime, but one can imagine little knots of resistance springing up here and there, small groups of people banding themselves together and gradually growing, and even leaving a few records behind so that the next generations can carry on where we left off. I'm not interested in the next generation, dear. I'm interested in us. You're only a rebel from the waist downwards," he told her. She thought this brilliantly witty and flung her arms round him in delight. In the ramifications of party doctrine, she had not the faintest interest. Whenever he began to talk of the principles of Ingsoc, doublethink, the mutability of the past, and the denial of objective reality, and to use newspeak words, she became bored and confused, and said that she never paid any attention to that kind of thing. One knew that it was all rubbish, so why let oneself be worried by it? She knew when to cheer and when to boo, and that was all one needed. If he persisted in talking of such subjects, she had a disconcerting habit of falling asleep. He was one of those people who can go to sleep at any hour and in any position. Talking to her, he realized how easy it was to present an appearance of orthodoxy, while having no grasp whatever of what orthodoxy meant. In a way, the worldview of the party imposed itself most successfully on people incapable of understanding it. They could be made to accept the most flagrant violations of reality, because they never fully grasped the enormity of what was demanded of them, and were not sufficiently interested in public events to notice what was happening. By lack of understanding, they remained sane. They simply swallowed everything, and what they swallowed did them no harm, because it left no residue behind, just as a grain of corn will pass undigested through the body of a bird.
Okay.
All right. Well, I thought that pretty much summed it up pretty nicely.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I could tell you did a lot of research into this, and, you put your heart into it, and I do appreciate that.
Part 2.
Oh, sorry about this.
4.
Yeah, and the next one, the next link I had down there was I think it was an Eisenhower speech. No, it was the next one was Thomas Jefferson's first inaugural address, and I thought it would be interesting just to hear that, just generally speaking. that little clip from it, and also note the vocabulary that he's using, the words he's using, words that we no longer use. As a matter of fact, you might even have a hard time understanding everything he's saying because even since then, our vocabulary seems to have diminished quite significantly. And I thought that might be a good example to show how it's already kind of taken place. I think it's the one with it starts at 5:30 and goes to 7:12.
All right.
And then we can just probably skip the last one. I mean, we can do the Eisenhower one if you want, but I think this one will pretty much get the point across. I decided it'd be neat to go to Eisenhower because it's a little bit more current. It's kind of like in the 50s. So you kind of see like in the middle. He's a little bit hard to understand, but not quite as bad as it was when we were listening to Thomas Jefferson here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if you got it queued up.
Thomas Jefferson. Hold on.
And we're going to do from the 5-minute 30 mark into 7:12, so it's just under 2 minutes.
Thomas Jefferson, first inaugural address. And what?
Hold on. All right. What did you say? 5-minute mark?
Yeah, 5-minute and 30-second, and you can stop at 7:12.
All right. I would also like to. I'd like to listen to the Eisenhower one. I've been looking forward to that one all day.
All right, we'll do that one next then. But go ahead and do this Thomas Jefferson, and notice how diverse his vocabulary is, and tell me if you notice words that you might not even understand the meaning to.
All right, we will do that. Let me put it on the full screen. Okay, I've got it queued up and ready to go, guys. I think.
Let us then, with courage and confidence, pursue our own federal and republican principles, our attachment to union and representative government. Kindly separated by nature and a wide ocean from the exterminating havoc of one quarter of the globe, too high-minded to endure the degradations of the others, possessing a chosen country with room enough for our descendants to the thousandth generation, entertaining a due sense of our equal right to the use of our own faculties, to the acquisitions of our own industry, to honor and confidence from our fellow citizens, resulting not from birth, but from our actions and their sense of them, enlightened by a benign religion, professed indeed and practiced in various forms, yet all of them inculcating honesty, truth, temperance, gratitude, and the love of man, acknowledging and adoring and overruling providence, which by all its dispensations proves that it delights in the happiness of man here and his greater happiness thereafter. With all these blessings, what more is necessary to make us a happy and prosperous people? Still one more thing, fellow citizens, a wise and frugal government, which shall restrain men from injuring one another, shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement, and shall not take from the mouth of labor the bread it has earned. This is the sum of good government, and this is necessary to close the circle of our felicities. About to enter, fellow citizens, on the exercise of duties which comprehend everything dear and valuable to you, it is proper you should understand what I deem the essential principles of our government, and consequently those which ought to shape its administration. I will compress them within the narrowest compass they will bear, stating the general principle, but not all its limitations. Equal and exact justice to all men, of whatever state or persuasion, religious or political.
I think you did enough there, bro.
An honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none.
Huh?
The support of the state government and all
I think you're past the mark.
for our
Oh, okay, cool.
and assures bulwarks against anti-republican tendencies.
Hold on, I can't We can't
The
stop it.
preservation of the general government in its whole constitutional vigor. As
Oh,
the
there it
sheep
goes.
of
Okay,
government
it's stopped.
developed and safety abroad. A jealous care of the
I still hear it.
You'll hear it.
Oh, sorry guys. Hold on.
a mild
All right. So did you guys? I heard the word honor in there. Did you hear that?
They used to say that even when I was a kid. Even when I was still a young man, we used that term.
Yeah. And I mean, I heard quite a few words. I wasn't even sure what they mean. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Are you getting the Eisenhower one ready? Raven, do you have any comments on this?
Sorry, I was muted. It just goes to show how bad we've come. I mean, our language now is so downgraded from what it used to be.
Yeah, it takes something like that to make it obvious, I think, because it happens so gradually, kind of like watching the sun. You don't actually see it move in the sky, but it's steadily moving, you know?
Yeah, it's a real shame too. You know, people, like you said, you noticed words that you had never heard before or didn't understand. And, you know, I can understand them, but, you know, I've got like 3 degrees, you know? But the average person out there isn't even going to be able to understand what Eisenhower's going to say here in a few minutes because they don't teach kids language in school anymore. You know, I mean, I don't even know if they give essay tests in school anymore. Or is it all multiple choice now? I don't know. Our education system is crap.
Well, I kind of like how the Orwellian or Orwell, how he kind of pointed out that when you have a more limited vocabulary, you have a more limited way of being descriptive, and having and it kind of diminishes your conscious awareness because you have less ideas to express because there's no word for that idea.
Exactly. How do you express honor without the word honor? How would you express commitment without the word commitment? You see, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain words that you can't really replace them, not for that deep of a type of meaning.
Nope.
Well, that's the whole point. They don't want us thinking deeply anymore.
And that's exactly why my grandchildren still learn these type of words. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important for us to teach our children, or in my case, grandchildren, the things the schools aren't, which we should be doing all along. That's the problem, you know. And it probably started even back when I was a child, but school's a place you send your kids and you think they're getting what they need there. They're going to get they're going to learn how to do math and write and read, and they're going to learn history and truth and speech and read novels like you read in school and things like that. No, it ain't that way anymore. So it's our responsibility to do that. I mean, as a parent, you definitely should be doing that. As a grandparent, I hope you're doing that. I mean, that's what I was saying. We was talking a bit in the chat. It was bring your Bible to school day. And my granddaughter was so excited because she has her own Bible, a King James, you know what I mean? Knows how to read it, knows what those weird words mean, you know, not because school taught her. You know, she goes to church. The church loves her down there where she goes. And she actually corrects them. You know what I mean? She got grandpa, and grandpa doesn't pull it. I teach her exactly what I believe, just like I tell people in here that call me a Luciferian. And she'll go right into church and say, "Oh, now wait a minute now. That ain't what Jesus meant when he said that." I mean, she's like 8. You see what I'm saying, people? She's like 8, I think.
Cool.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
We can sit here and talk about how bad the school's doing, and it's horrible. It's a pure brainwashing machine. It truly is 1984 in front of our eyes. So we know that. What are you going to do about it? You better take it into your own hands now while you still can, while they're still young, before they're indoctrinated, because it's a lot harder once they're indoctrinated. And no, Michael Fontaine's asking about cursive. Absolutely not. My grandkids are not taught cursive at all. They have no clue what that even meant. This is our school system. And if it's worse than that, I'll bet you, how many of you can even read a map? You know what I mean? They aren't even taught map reading skills, how to use a compass. People aren't taught anything anymore. If this system goes down, that's why 99% of the people are done. They're done. If they can't turn on a GPS and figure out how to get somewhere, it's over. They don't even know what a map is, let alone how to read it, and let alone how to use a compass to navigate with it.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that, you know what, last time I tried to buy a map, I had to go to Walmart to get one. I couldn't buy one in a gas station. They don't sell them anymore.
Yeah, good luck finding a map.
Yeah.
I mean, do you even know how to find a North Star and how to use it? If you ain't even got a map, do you know how to use the sun to navigate? People don't know any of this. This is stuff I was taught as a child by my grandpa and my dad. You know what I mean? They don't even know this stuff anymore.
Absolutely. And just like you said, me and my grandpa used to hunt quite a bit, and we'd go into territory that had a lot of woods in it and stuff. And if you didn't know your compass, you didn't know your way out of the woods, you got lost. You know, there was no GPS or computer telling you where to go, how to get out of the woods. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've said before. I spent 99% of my childhood in the mountains, in the woods where we lived, like way far from home. And they weren't worried. You know what I mean? They knew I wasn't going to go out there and get lost because I knew how to navigate with nature stuff. You know what I mean? I knew how to find my way home. It wasn't from the middle of a mountain in the woods. But nowadays, you take someone, drop them off at a 7-Eleven 5 miles from their house, they'll probably never figure out how to get home without a phone. I'm serious. I'm being serious. You take their cell phone and GPS and drop them off 10 miles out of town, that'd probably be the last anybody sees of them.
I know you're serious, but I couldn't help to laugh about that, though. That's
and make note on this that this is January 20th, 1953. If you do the math on that, that is what, 73 years ago?
It's 10 years before I was born, so that would be 60. How old am I? 66 years ago.
Okay. And it's about the same time that the Orwellian book or the 1984 came out. And it's also a weird synchronicity. I want you to start at the 5 minute and 30 mark if you want.
All right, hold on.
That's where and then also, Raven, I think this is kind of interesting how he talks a lot about, you don't necessarily say the word core values, but you're going to see that the people there, they seem like it just seems like a whole different age. It really seemed like, and I'm not saying there was no corruption, but there was not nearly the same level as we have today.
This might be a really good example of a president that did have some good core values, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, listen and then discern for yourself. But are you at the 5 minute and 30 mark?
Oh, no, I haven't even done that. I was answering Michelle. All right. Let's get to the 5 minute what?
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
30.
And then I had it marked to be over at, well, shoot, I lost my spot. But go to about 8:19 or whenever you feel like cutting it off.
All right. Sounds good to me. Let's hear Ike break the mic. All right. Let's go. Another president I would say that I never knew personally, but I would almost venture to say Abraham Lincoln had some good core values, I would say. that would be another president that I would. Of course, you never know what he did, behind the scenes. But I'm saying, judging by what I've seen in the history books and what I've read on the biography channel and stuff, just I know you can't go by that, but just seems like, Lincoln wasn't stinking,
Well, they did call him Honest Abe, from what I understand.
Yeah, you can't get that name. Well, I guess you could. Anyway, here we'll hear good old Ike break the mic. Here we go.
Though fortunate be our lot, know that we can never turn our backs to them. We look upon this shaken earth and we declare our firm.
If I see a lady in the audience with a cell phone, I'm going to flip out.
With justice in a world where moral law prevails.
A time
The
traveler.
building of such a peace is a bold and solemn purpose. To proclaim it is easy. To serve it will be hard. And to attain it, we must be aware of its full meaning and ready to pay its full price. We know clearly what we seek and why. We seek peace, knowing that peace is the climate of freedom. And now, as in no other age, we seek it because we have been warned by the power of modern weapons that peace may be the only climate possible for human life itself. Yet this peace we seek cannot be born of fear alone. It must be rooted in the lives of nations. There must be justice, sensed and shared by all peoples. For without justice, the world can know only a tense and unstable truth. There must be law, steadily invoked and respected by all nations. For without law, the world promises only such meager justice as the pity of the strong upon the weak. But the law of which we speak, comprehending the values of freedom, affirms the equality of all nations, great and small. Splendid as can be the blessings of such a peace, high will be its cost. In toil patiently sustained, in health honorably given, in sacrifice calmly borne. We are called to meet the price of this peace. To counter the threat of those who seek to rule by force, we must pay the cost of our own needed military strength and help to build the security of others. We must use our skills and knowledge, and at times our substance, to help others rise from misery, however far from the scene of suffering may be from our shoulders. For wherever in the world a people knows desperate want, there must appear at least the spark of hope, the hope of progress, or there will surely rise at last the flames of conflict. We recognize and accept our own deep involvement in the destiny of men everywhere. We are accordingly pledged to honor and to strive to fortify the authority of the United Nations. For in that body rests the best hope of our age for the assertion of that law by which all nations may live in dignity. And
all right, you can stop whenever you want.
All right. I just want to point out one thing. It would have been cool if he had the microphone and took it out of the thing and slammed it on the ground when he was done with his speech.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would have been a good mic drop.
And remember, even after that speech, Eisenhower's the one who basically started and approved NASA.
Huh. Oh, and speaking of...
Oh, yeah, and he was also responsible for creating the military-industrial complex as we know it today.
Yep.
And let me ask you this. Wasn't he also the first president ever to acknowledge the existence of UFOs and aliens?
Yeah, he falls into that category as well.
I think I read... Well, it wasn't... I think his granddaughter actually put out a video a few years back about the exposing of aliens and stuff like that.
Well, it was about 6 to 8 months later when the whole Roswell thing happened. 1954, I think, is the year it happened.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that would make sense. We're not going to get sued by CBS News, are we?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much public record.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
But
old
you never
enough.
know.
It's old enough. It should be public use.
All right, cool. Well, hey, you know what? I really enjoyed all of that, and I know you put a lot of effort into it. And
Yeah, awesome, Saji. That was awesome.
you know that truly, yeah, I can't say it any better.
Great
Yeah,
work.
I just really was just trying to. I mean, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you, but it really was just my valiant attempt at just trying to point out things that are kind of important to me, and I was trying to think of the best way to present it without having to. There's no way I could have articulated all that,
Let's see here. I've got something here.
Can I just throw out an FYI real quick?
Yes.
Michelle just posted a link in the chat for Scared Performance, a GoFundMe. She says that he is drowning in medical debt and needs some community support. So if y'all could all click that link and go help Dan as much as you possibly can, it would be much appreciated.
Yeah, and even if you can't donate, you can still share the link on your Facebook page or your Instagram or whatever it is you use.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Thank you, Raven, for pointing that out.
Yep. Good job.
You're welcome.
Yep, and anyone who can help my old partner Dan, cool. That'd be awesome. I like that fella. For some strange reason.
Okay, there's the here, I'll put it up on the screen as well. There we go. So that's since we don't have phone calls tonight. I kind of wish we did, but anyway, Armor, what do you say we give this good old room a shout out? As a matter of fact.
Well, yeah, we could probably do that. Let me get a sip of my coffee.
All right, cool.
All right. We got Awake and Activate, Sporting a Wrench, Purpose and Grace, Lorraine Lamore, Vitaly Mlevsky, Michael Fontaine, Euler Greg. Scrolling. Ouch, my fingers swollen. Keep my mouse with scrolling. Chat room. All right, I know there was more people here. They ain't talked in a while, obviously. Oh, Eddie Von Keen. I think we seen him here earlier. Well, I don't know. I ain't scrolling any further up. Let me go back to the bottom. Hey, CJ. See, I knew there was other people here. She spoke up just in time. CJ's been lurking and listening. Much love, CJ. I'm looking forward to her video when the spirit gets her ready to do it. I'm sure it'll be awesome. I don't see anybody else popping up, so if I missed you, hey, it's your own fault. You should have talked. It's the shout out, brother. That's what we got.
All right. Good shout out once again. And I'm glad you could be here. I'm glad Raven could be here. And hey, I'm glad Sagittarically Speaking could be here even. So, I'm just saying, you guys are all awesome. And I believe that's all I've got. Unless you want to talk about I'll make that into a video. Never mind. Go ahead, Saggy. Take it away, brother. Oh, wait. Oh, boy. Woo, man. Have I been sleeping on the job or what? armor up, I believe it is now time for some good news, man. I believe we could use it. I know I could use it. I always like hearing your good news segments, brother.
I got some good news, and I think we did catch you in a nap there during the one presidential speech. But yeah, let's see, which one do we want to go with first? Let's go with. Do I want to go with this one? Let me see. I got 3 ready. Now let's save that one. Let's start with. No, we'll save that one. Let's go with this one first, I think. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let's try this one first. Let me share my screen. Tab 95-year-old. Here we go. All right, let me know when you're sharing it, and I'll start reading. Let me get another drink of coffee.
Cool. And I'm sharing it now, sir.
All right. This one is after a 95-year-old is swindled out of $16,000 in her life savings. Town gets it all back by serving spaghetti. After a 95-year-old woman was robbed of her life savings, her community managed to replace it all by serving spaghetti. Last summer, Barbara Hinckley's bank accounts were emptied of about $16,000 after she was targeted by a con man who convinced her she had won second place in a Publishers Clearinghouse contest with a prize of $2.5 million and a Mercedes-Benz. The senior from Auburn later told news reporters about the scam in hopes that it would deter other people from falling prey to the same scheme. When former Maine Governor John Baldacci, heard about the incident on the news in November, however, he was immediately spurred to help. Now, this is a former governor. Stealing from the elderly is not the main way, said Baldacci, as reported by the Bangor Daily News. Let's turn something bad into something positive by showing the world our true Maine character. Baldacci spearheaded a spaghetti dinner fundraiser for Hinckley earlier this month. With 60 pounds of noodles, 17 gallons of sauce, and dozens of cases of vegetables, Baldacci told the Sun Journal that his goal was to not have any food left over by the end of the night. After 400 people attended the fundraiser, they raised a whopping $18,000, which is more than what Hinckley was swindled out of. Hinckley's daughter, Marcia Donahue, told the Press Herald that she and the rest of their family had been amazed by people's compassion during the dinner. From the unexpected $1,000 checks to the obviously financially struggling people in line that gave extra above their ticket cost, I've been bowled over by people's generosity, said Donahue. It has been a roller coaster ride for her and all of us in the family too, from destitution to solvency. Hinckley also says that she is glad that her story could serve as a warning for others, and she has reassured the reporters she will no longer be allowed to spend any of her new money without first getting her family's permission. And we have, is this the one that has a video? No, maybe this one. No, this one don't have a video. Okay. All right, that's it for that one.
I just wanted to say that that's an awesome, awesome thing. And I do love the food part of it. Just saying.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, who don't like a good plate of sketty?
Yeah. But yeah, no.
So there you go. Just one ex-governor, one community, $18,000 worth of spaghetti and donations. Awesome.
Well, there you go. There's a virtue, core values for you in action.
Yep. All right, let me see which one we'll do next. I guess we'll do. Let me get on the right window. Let's go with. Let's do the Eagles.
Awesome.
Let's do this one. I'll share this
one. All right. You're up, sir.
All right, and I can attest to this also in Pennsylvania. It is awesome. I see eagles all the time, and growing up as a child, you'd never even heard about seeing an eagle. So Ohio bald eagle population has made thrilling recovery since numbering just 4 nests in the 70s. Hey, that's when I was a kid. Despite being the official mascot of the U.S., there were only 4 bald eagle nests recorded across the state of Ohio as recently as '79. Now, 41 years later, conservationists are happy to report that number has increased dramatically. According to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, 312 chicks were fledged from 221 nests in 2017, showing no sign of slowing down. Bald eagle breeding pairs have increased 22% between 2017 and 2018 alone. I'm proud of our agency's restorations efforts to bring back this iconic symbol of our nation, and thrilled the population is thriving there, said Kendra Rucker, chief of the ODNR Division of Wildlife. Each time an eagle soars overhead, Ohioans have an opportunity to experience the natural beauty in our state, she added. Nesting season is an exciting time, and I hope we can exceed 300 nests this year. There is nothing as beautiful as watching them eagles fly over your head. We got one, I live right by the river, and we got a nest not far, and yeah, it's beautiful. Amazing birds. In addition to teaming up with concerned and willing landowners, the ODNR Division of Wildlife partnered with various state zoos and rehabilitation services to create a climate that allowed bald eagles to recover in great numbers. In 2007, bald eagles were removed from the federal list of endangered species and successfully soared off the Ohio state listing just 5 years after that. Bald eagle populations in other U.S. states, such as Georgia and New Jersey, have made notable comebacks as well, and Pennsylvania, guaranteed. The bald eagle on George Washington's urging was made a principal symbol of our nation because of a majestic animal standing as an icon of ultimate freedom. Ohio residents hoping to catch a glimpse of the magisterial bird in their viewfinders or binoculars should keep their eyes open in late March. The trees remain leafless, rivers and lakes are released from winter's icy grip, and mating pairs have returned to their nests to lay eggs, typically in large trees like oaks and sycamores. Yes, very big trees, and very high up. Another good time to find bald eagles is in midwinter. Disruptions in the eagle's hunting methods, such as lakes being frozen and mammals hibernating underground, force baldies to greatly expand their hunting range. The population of midwinter eagles in Ohio was found in an annual survey to have increased 75% in just 1 year, 2018 to 2019. And like I said, definitely, as a kid growing up, you never seen an eagle. It wasn't even talked about. No one's seen an eagle. Now, there's a nesting pair a mile away. There's another nesting pair 6 miles up the road from that, up the river. There's another one 10 miles further up the river from that. It's awesome. Eagles are definitely making a comeback. And there is a little video to this one, so let's listen to it so I can get a drink of coffee because I can't talk.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you what, if you're lucky enough to see them flying around, they are amazing. They're beautiful birds. Beautiful. Like I said, I watch them cruising the river, swooping down, getting fish. It's,
man,
I can see why they were picked as our national bird because they're just beautiful to look at.
And I tell you what, I heard about the bald eagles coming back, making a comeback. I think it was a few months ago. I heard about them making a comeback, and that is awesome, dude. I'm glad to see when an animal population makes a comeback, starts to come back, when they're just pulled from the brink of extinction. Especially the bald eagle, man. I mean, who doesn't love a bald eagle? You're not American if you don't love a bald eagle, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and they've made like Awake saying that's a huge comeback. Yeah, this is a major comeback. Like I said, they're all over Pennsylvania now. I can drive, like I said, within 10 miles, I can drive and see 3 bald eagle nests. And that's another thing. Purpose and Grace says that's better than the turkey. Absolutely, a little tidbit. Most people probably know, but Franklin wanted the turkey to be the national bird, and Washington picked the eagle. So thank you, George. And yeah, Yeah, they are awesome. And another thing, eagles mate for life. There's a lot of symbolism, good symbolism behind the eagle.
I think when George Washington picked the eagle, who was it that wanted the turkey? Ben Franklin?
Yeah,
Yeah. Franklin was like, by George, I think you've got it.
That's why we love the Sag. All right, I got one more. I think I can get through. My voice is killing me. I got to go fill my coffee up. Let me know when you're sharing.
All right. Okay. Sharon.
Michael Fontaine's still waiting for the dodo to come back. Actually,
I think it has.
And Dan was looking when there is footage out there of that. We don't know if it's a real dodo, but yeah, he might be back. All right, this one is stranger gives his car to a pizza delivery driver after chasing down his stolen vehicle.
Oh, man, cool.
After a woman with mental health issues hijacked and subsequently crashed Raiden Jones's car, the delivery driver was suddenly going to be left without a mode of transportation to do his job. Then suddenly, a good Samaritan stepped in to save the day. Jones, who works at Happy's Pizza in Port Huron, Michigan, says he had taken only 2 minutes to run some pies into a local school last week when he exited the building and found that someone had stolen his car. Meanwhile, a man named Kevin Linke had been driving home from work when he saw a swerving car take the wrong ramp onto a freeway. Linke dialed 911 as he followed the car and described the situation to police dispatchers. The woman who stole the automobile eventually smashed into another vehicle before abandoning the totally wrecked car on the side of the road. She took off running with Linke in hot pursuit. After catching up to her, Linke convinced her to stay and wait for the police. Later, when he learned from law enforcement officials that the car belonged to a hardworking pizza delivery guy, he was moved to donate his minivan to Raiden rather than selling it as he had originally planned. I'm not going to lie, I about burst into tears because who does that? Jones told WIV. It's a godsend that this man out of nowhere, who I've never met, would do this. It's mind-blowing. And we got a news clip, so here you go.
Who is really taking things to the next level. After a pizza delivery driver had his car stolen while on the job.
And that's just the beginning of what happened in Port Huron last night. It's where Mara McDonald is tonight with more. Mark.
We have a lot going on here. We have a stolen car, a crazy wrong way chase down 94, a good Samaritan with a pretty big heart, and an overwhelmed pizza delivery driver. Last night was any other night at Happy's Pizza in Port Huron until all of a sudden it wasn't.
I was taking a delivery to Port Huron, the high school, and not 2 minutes. In and out, giving the food, take the money, leave, and in that amount of time, she's gone.
A woman who police described as having mental health issues stole Raiden's car.
I was just heading out to my house, and as I was driving, the car in front of me was just driving erratically. And
what happened next had Linke calling 911.
As we came up to Wadhams in 94, she proceeded onto the exit ramp to head the wrong way.
Where in Raiden's car, she drove the wrong way on the freeway, sideswiped another car, and then took off running. Kevin ran after her.
I just was asking, I'm like, where are you going? I'm like, just come back with me. And she tried to hop the fence a couple times, and I kind of just pulled her back over a little bit.
Kevin convinced her to stop, and the sheriff showed up. This morning, he found out the wrecked stolen car belonged to a worker at Happy's. When Raiden walked in today, he got quite the shock from his manager, Frank.
Mentioned that some guy wanted to get a hold of me, and he said that he wanted to give me a car.
Which is how Kevin met Raiden tonight.
Like, hey, if you need the vehicle, I got one I can get one. And that's, so I hope it helps you out. I know how it is. Just
mind blowing.
Kevin is giving Raiden a minivan he was getting ready to sell, figuring he could really use a break.
I understand, taking some hits and having to work through them, and how things happen in life really fast and it can get upside down.
In Port Huron, Mara McDonald, Local 4.
There you go. As my sister Sharon likes to say, one of my favorite channels that I'm sub to, Random acts of kindness could change somebody's life.
For sure, man. That was awesome, dude. You know, I gotta say, I think that's the one thing that makes this channel stand out amongst the rest. Well, at least this show is that I don't think anybody else. I'm not saying that they don't, but I don't think anybody else shows good news quite like you do, Armor. Thank you. That was amazing.
Oh, we need a little good news. That's for sure.
I do have one thing that I want to put out there. I want to show a commercial real quick. This is a very weird commercial. I mean, it's a good commercial. It is for a good cause. It's for the starving children of America. But the weird thing is, when I saw the commercial play out on TV, it played out much differently than this. And at the end of the commercial, the little girl who's talking, the original, I guess there's several people talking, but the commercial I saw didn't have several people talking. It was just the one little girl talking. And at the end of the commercial, she says, I was created by an AI. And I was just like, oh, well, that's weird. But when I looked up the commercial online, it was totally different. And the commercial, the way it plays out now, makes sense to what she was saying. I wish I could find the one that I saw, and then you guys would know what I'm saying. But it definitely is strange. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys, if that's okay. And you'll get it.
No. I'd rather not.
You'd rather.
Yeah, I mean, I don't come to this channel to watch commercials. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, are they going to like give us a kickback so I can help Dan or what?
Yeah.
Man, that would be good. I wish I could, but no. But no, seriously though, it is very strange. You would think they would show some actual, not saying these aren't actual children, but you'd think they would. I don't.
Is this one of those like heart jerking? Phil, I'm going to start crying when I watch this commercial.
No, not necessarily at all. Not at all. I think.
Okay.
No, it's
All
weird.
right, well,
he shared it to me earlier, and it's weird because they sort of merged an AI commercial with a commercial for starving children. It's strange.
All right. Well, let's check it out.
This is only 1 minute long, so I'll go ahead and play the entire the commercial in its entirety. So yeah, here we go.
I am what child hunger looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to a sleepover so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch so my friends won't know I don't have anything to eat. I am a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school just because I'm hungry. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day that never knew they were hungry.
I mean,
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
It does give a good message for sure, but it's a weird way. It's the way they went about it is what freaked me out. And if you guys saw the original video, or not the original video, the original commercial, none of that was said. All was said was, she says, well, she does say, like, you know, I'm a starving child, and please feed me. And but at the very end of it, she just there's no context to it whatsoever. It just comes out of nowhere. She says, I was created by artificial intelligence. And I was just like, whoa, what am I looking at here? What is this sending like some sort of secret message? Like, is it saying that the fundings from the starving children don't go to the starving children, that it just goes to the government, that maybe the numbers have been inflated, and we're just looking at artificial intelligent creations of children that aren't really starving at all? I mean, that was my first impression. And then when I saw that commercial, it made more sense. Does anybody any comments, anything?
Well, I would just say that that's one more reason to pray for the children, because there really is starving children in America. They're not AI.
Saji, anything?
No, I mean I see your point. It was a strange. It was kind of it had a cringe factor to it. That's for sure. But it almost defeated the message, if you ask me. I would have got. I was kind of like, the girl just seemed kind of creepy. So I don't know. I think the message kind of gets lost in the method of the message. You know.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, Armor says there are starving children. Well, yeah. I agree with that 100%. And I don't think that these are fake people, but the way they presented it was the presentation of the commercial that weirded me out more than anything. Any thoughts, Raven?
Well, I think the reason they did it the way they did was because it's geared more towards the millennials right now. I think Lorraine said something very important. They average the looks of kids to show you their combined identity. You don't need to be afraid. So,
yeah, we know that. We already knew that. That's not the point.
Yeah, but it was kind of creepy. Yeah, it was very creepy for me. But, that's...
Yeah, I just wish I had the original commercial. I was sitting there watching TV Land, and then all of a sudden that came on. I'm like, whoa, what? What do you mean you're AI? You were created by AI. When I first saw that, I thought the girl was saying she was created by an AI. I didn't realize there was other. They were trying to gather all the quite a few different ranges of kids with different ages and stuff, and they were saying that was created by AI. So it was very confusing, and I don't discourage feeding starving children. I'm just saying that the way they presented it, the presentation, is a lot to be it just creeped me out at first. That's all I'm saying. Now, with that being said, it is a good commercial. It does show you one more reason, as if we needed enough to pray for the children. I agree with Armor on that point. So listen, hey, I think we've had a very good Shifty Sunday here tonight. I really appreciated everything all of you guys brought to the table, and I hope to do this again next week. This was a really top show, I say, if I don't pat my own back. Which, by the way, if I pat my own back, I got this bump on my back somewhere, where it's like a huge bump. I don't know.
TMI.
I don't know if I should be. Well, I'm saying I don't know if I should be concerned about it or not. Is what I'm saying. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So let's get everyone else's final thoughts. Thank you, Raven, for that. Too much information. It wasn't. That wasn't too much information, is what I was going to say about Abe Lincoln a while ago. I was going to say, Abe Lincoln was a good old man. He jumped out the window, and that's all I'm going to say to that. Final thoughts, everybody.
My final thoughts are please keep Dan in your prayers. And if you can afford to donate, even if it's only $5 or $2 or whatever, please go to his GoFundMe page and donate. If you cannot donate, keep him in your prayers and share his fundraising page. Love you all. Y'all have a great night. Thank you.
Well, I guess we'll go clockwise. I'll go next. Basically, yeah, what Raven said as far as Dan, absolutely help my brother out if you can. Even, we can all help him out with prayers, so we definitely want to do that. But anyone that can help him in any other way, that'd be appreciated too. But we can all pray. We all have lips, so we can use those. I just want to recap quickly maybe the show to make sure we remember what we covered. A lot of good stuff tonight. Think of your core values, take some time, get alone, get with Father or whatever you want to call the Creator. And, really think about what matters to you. What's the most important things to you in your life? And like I said, don't be ashamed to admit that it's a new house, if that's what it is. That's the only way to grow. But really take an inward journey, because that's what it's all about in the end. That's even what Jesus teaches. It's an inward journey. We got to clean the inside of the cup, walking around like a bunch of whitewashed tombs. So, get our core values, think about your core values, think about what truly matters to you, and think about what you do to show those core values, to stay in the core values. Wait a minute, the screen's changing. What happened? Oh, okay, it's just Hebrew. All right, I thought I lost connection. And then, think about all the stuff Sadie presented. I mean, if you can't see, we're basically living in 1984. None of us can help you see it. And if you do see it, which I think is pretty obvious, whether you want to call it we're living in 1984, the end times, the tribulation, whatever name you want to put on it, if you can't see that the world has gone totally 180, upside down and backwards, which happens just coincidentally to be the Luciferian doctrine. Turn everything upside down and backwards. Just an FYI. I think they're succeeding. But if you can see that's where you're at, then that should make you all the more want to get your core values together. And it should make you all the more want to run so that you can get alone with the Father and really see what this is all about. Because you got a purpose. You're needed, and you're important, and you're special. But you're nothing without the Spirit. You're going to be absolutely no use at all. It's just the way it is. And that's my opinion. But I truly believe that. So that's basically all I got. Father's love and blessings to everybody. Thanks so much for being here. And I see Vivian just made it in the end. Howdy, Viv. And yeah, just take some time. Really, really think about what your life means. You just following along? Or are you actually trying to better the world, even if it's just with thoughts and prayers? That's basically it. Have a good one. Saji.
All right. Well, very well said, by the way. And I ditto basically to what Armor just said. And yeah, it does seem like I mean, even doing the recap, I mean, going even further back to the beginning where Raven was talking about, this year 2020, we're coming up on the election. There's going to be I would say you're going to see lots of division. You're going to see lots of people trying to create people getting caught up in this political charade and feeling like they have to pick a side. You don't have to pick a side. You can choose sovereignty. You can choose to apply discernment. You can choose to take it to the spirit. Apply your own discernment. Choose, you can choose not to choose. That is an option. And I don't know. It just really seems like um, you don't. Everybody always feels like they have to pick a team. I think not everybody. I use the term loosely, but a lot of times people feel like they got to pick a side just to feel like they have a something to belong to. And I think that's the way that they try to trick us into doing it. Is you gotta pick a team. You gotta have a team. You gotta pick a team, and that's not necessarily the case. You don't have to choose a side. And I just want to thank everybody who showed up for the show tonight. I want to thank Raven. I want to thank Armor. I want to thank Kebro for having me on here. Everybody, do remember Dan in your prayers. Dan has had a positive influence, I know, on me. I believe it would be safe to say that he's positively affected others as well. I know everybody here has love for him, and I hope that he's able to get through this. I hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel for him. And thank you, everybody who's listening. And that's really all I got.
All right, cool. Those were some really good words, all of you. And yeah, so keep Dan in your prayers. I will do the same. And we will see all you guys, hopefully, right here, same bat channel, same bat time. Good night, everybody. And just keep in mind, Captain Picard is not gay. That was all publicity stunt. Thank you.
S is for the asses that have disappeared. H is for Haas, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for your memories, hope they last.
Should say
It's
goodbye.
not a fun day, won't you join me?
Shifty Sunday.
Shifty Sunday for Emmys.
Now you want me to make another video? See how you are.
Yeah.
This is what we deal with, people. This is it.
Well, I mean, you got to have a goodbye video. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, geez.
Also, I'm going to eat me some soup later on. I'm getting tired of my chili.